run, I'm gonna track you down. You go to a teacher, it's only gonna get worse.
Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. Your leader in sports in the Inland Empire.
The Riverside.
Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Cora.
And welcome to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We've got a huge show planned for you, and I had to pry Jeff away from his phone because he was watching the Ball brothers in Lithuania. I said, Jeff, we got a show to do.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that.
You did watch the game, or some
I did.
of it, right?
I watched it all. I wanted to see what the heck was going on over there, and I'm more sick and disgusted with Larry Ball to the day. Every day I'm getting sick and tired of Larry Ball.
So LaMelo and LiAngelo Ball made their, I guess, it's not professional basketball debut because it was not pro basketball technically.
No, and ESPN says the Ball brothers make their pro debut. They might be getting paid, but they were playing a youth team. There wasn't a guy on that team that had hair anywhere on his body. They were little kids, and they were playing and barely beat a bunch of little kids. And they had grown men on their team, but the other team, man, they were just little kids. It was like bad AAU basketball.
Well,
bad.
We're gonna talk about their basketball game in Lithuania today. Jeff has some hot takes for you. Watch it a little bit. Was it on YouTube or where was it?
It was on Facebook.
It was on Facebook?
I was one of those stupid guys of 170,000 people, or whatever it was, that
You're
watched
one of those stupid guys to watch it.
Yeah, Carla Smedberg walked in and said into the classroom today, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm watching." "Are you watching the Ball brothers?" She said, "You are." She called me a sellout. Carla Smedberg called me a sellout.
That is too sad.
Yeah, I was a sellout. Yes, I watched it on Facebook, and I will never do it again. Well, I'll probably do it again because it's kind of funny.
All right, so we'll talk more later in the show about the Ball brothers, their first game over there in Lithuania. John Gruden also had his new press conference as the head coach of the Oakland Raiders. We've got some Gruden sound, and Jeff, there's a couple guys I could just listen to all day. Like I was driving around, and I was listening to the John Gruden press conference on the radio on another Fox affiliate, and dude, I just love it. Whatever he says, like, I'm totally into it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm buying in. Whatever you're selling, I'm buying. I'm totally on board. And I had to get out of my car and pump gas. Rarely do I get to the gas station and I think, man, I got to get out of my car. Like, I wanted to keep listening to him.
You were riveted.
I'm not even a Raider fan. I'm like, all in on Gruden, man.
That's how I feel about Rick Croy, the guy at Cal Baptist. Every time he talks, I'm the same way. I'd pay to see him. You know what? I'm going to call Coach Croy and see if I can go to his house. I'll pay him $20, and just so I can hear him talk. He can talk to his wife and his children, and I just want to hear him talk.
Can you imagine how he tucks his kids in bed? Listen, guys, that was a real solid day. Listen, we're going to finish up strong. Brush your teeth. Get your school clothes out for tomorrow. Got to keep it nice and tight. Gonna get bed on time. We got curfew. You're gonna wake up refreshed. We're gonna have a great day tomorrow, okay? Listen.
You had a solid day today.
You had a solid day. We're gonna have back-to-back great days. We're gonna go in tomorrow refreshed, feeling good, rested, okay? Make sure you got your backpack ready to go. We're all prepared. And we're gonna have a great day tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. John Gruden, I'm gonna jump the gap. I'm gonna get in there. We're gonna play really hard, guys. You did a great job. Great job.
Yeah, he talks like that, dude. And he, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like he's gritting his teeth and he's squinting his eyes after every response he gives at the press conference. It was awesome. So we're gonna play some of it. He had a lot of good stuff. But we're gonna play some of the John Gruden press conference because he is the head coach. And something interesting too, Jeff. Did you hear any of it?
I did hear part of it, but every time, I mean, there was a bunch of old time Raiders there.
Oh, everybody.
Guys in crutches were walking around. Even the pirate on the helmet would probably showed up.
He strolled in.
So, hey, Gruden's back.
You know, we made fun of Gruden, you know, ushering in this new era of Raider football as they go to Las Vegas in a couple of years.
Yes.
But it was all about Oakland.
It was.
He was like, dude, this is for Oakland. This is for the people of Oakland. I love Oakland. We're going to bring a winning football team to Oakland. As soon as somebody brought up the name Las Vegas, he completely diffused it. He's like, Yeah. But this is about Oakland. I've got so many great memories here. I'm trying to bring a championship back to Oakland. It wasn't about, hey, I'm trying to lead this team into this move to Vegas. It was nothing about that.
Well, see, like I said, I think the whole plan is you actually physically take Oakland right now. and you move it over to the desert. Like you move everything. Because there's nothing. If you drive to Vegas right now, there's all that nothing in between. They're just going to physically move Oakland all the way to Vegas. So Oakland they're going to restart it. It'll be really nice. It'll be really nice.
What are you saying? It's not nice right
Well, there's parts of Oakland up there by the golf course that are pretty nice, but the rest of it,
There's some rough parts.
Yeah, but see, if you just move all the rough parts into Vegas in that big desert area, you got it made.
So we'll talk Gruden and his new deal to become the Raiders head coach later in the show as well. Hey, speaking of Coach Croy, giving his kids a pep talk as they get in bed each night and get ready for the next day at school. He's going to have to give his team a pep talk. Coming off a tough loss against Dixie State last night, Cal Baptist, the men, in overtime. I was out there on my back porch. Told you, Jeff, grilling some sausages and some vegetables.
Okay, you lost me. Just grill
some
sausages.
Proteins and some vegetables.
Don't tell anybody you've grilled vegetables. But okay.
Well, it was like peppers and onions and mushrooms and stuff like that. But anyways, so I watched the end of that game that was streaming on YouTube, and they had a chance. And that was a big one because remember, this was a big stretch for the Lancers in terms of playing Dixie State and playing Azusa Pacific back-to-back games. Those are the two teams that will challenge CBU for the Pac-West Conference title, and it was Dixie State coming out on top in overtime, 68-65. So,
well, yeah, and the Lancers, they haven't played any road games, so this is really a big test for them.
Yeah, you're right. We talked about that last week. A lot of home games.
Yeah, it's like
you got a nice new house. Come on over.
They're like the University of Hawaii. University of Hawaii plays like their first 14 games of the year at their place, and they go out on the road, and it's tough. If you're not road tested, and these other teams have played 13, 14 games, and they played on the road for more than half, it's tough to come out and play those guys.
So maybe in the long run, maybe this is not such a bad thing for this Cal Baptist team. Go on the road, tough place to play against a good team. And it was close. They had a chance. They had a chance in the end, 68-65 in overtime. So in conference play in the Pac-West, the Lancers are 5-2. Dixie State is at 6-2. Azusa Pacific is one game up on them. They have only one loss. They're 7-1 right now. And Saturday night, 7 o'clock at Cal Baptist, it's the Lancers taking on Azusa Pacific. So that will be a huge game coming up for the Lancers. And finally, our last inland sports headline. It was the national championship game.
Oh, yeah, that game.
Yeah, and it came down to the finish. It was a great game when I left the station last night after the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE. It was Georgia on top by a score of 13-0. The Alabama offense could not move, simply could not move.
I saw that.
And they made a switch at quarterback going from Jalen Hurts to Tua Tagovailoa. And he's a true freshman out of the state of Hawaii, went to St. Louis High School. They've been raving about this guy. They say he's more of a true quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
He is a mobile quarterback. He's a dual threat quarterback, as they like to say.
He can run with a big arm.
Yes.
And in fact, if you think about it, Jalen Hurts was the quarterback who beat out Blake Barnett from Santiago.
Oh, that's right.
Because if you remember, a season ago, Nick Saban named Blake Barnett the starting quarterback. Oh. So remember, Blake Barnett started, I think it was against USC, wasn't it?
Yes, the very first game of the year.
And he had 2 or 3 series, and it was not going well for Blake Barnett and the Alabama offense. And Nick Saban pulled the plug, and he put in Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts took the starting job and ran with it. Does it sound familiar what happened last night?
That's exactly, and like they said after the game, there might be a quarterback controversy going into next year.
There's got to be.
But that's like Ohio State had those three.
They had three. Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett, and Cardell Jones.
Yeah, they had 3 guys, and they're just worried about 2. And I mean, Hurts has had a great career. I mean, do you go with him as a senior? I mean, that's a tough one. But who cares? It's Nick Saban's choice. It's not ours. We don't have to make that decision.
That was a pretty gutty call.
Yeah.
How do you do that? The national championship game, you're down, the offense is not moving, and you turn to a true freshman to be like, listen, our season's on the line, and we're not scoring any points. It's up to you, bro.
And then they had 2 freshman offensive linemen, and then they had their freshman receiver who caught the touchdown.
Unbelievable.
To win the game.
Unbelievable.
So how many times have you heard of an Alabama team playing 4 true freshmen?
Never.
Because they just
you got to wait
reload.
your turn in Alabama. There's so many great players.
They had 4 in the overtime period. That's pretty impressive.
So if you missed it, if you live in a hole,
I do.
Alabama, Jeff does, but everyone else, Alabama beat Georgia 26-23 in overtime. So Alabama is your national champion. And what is that, 5? Is it 5 titles for Saban?
5 in 9 years.
That's unbelievable.
And 6 overall with his win in LSU. So
That's crazy.
I hate that guy. He wins a lot.
I even saw a great stat that if you go all the way back to 2006 and you look at all the national champions for college football, do you know where they all come from?
The SEC?
Well, pretty much. If you take like the southeastern part of the United States.
Yeah, LSU, Auburn.
Yeah, let's see. I have the
Clemson.
I have the list right here because I wanted to make note of it because I was like, are you serious? Like all those teams came from the same region. I think outside of the SEC, because I think Florida had one in 2006.
Florida State.
No,
that's the Southeast.
But Clemson, that's still the Southeast. Like Clemson won in the national championship. That's all. They're not SEC, they're ACC, but it's still the Southeast part of the United States. So they're saying, hey, West Coast, Midwest, shut out. Since 2006, shut out.
And guess where a lot of their stud players come from, though? Out west.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, look at really out west. You got Hawaii out there. Same high school as Mariota.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Marcus Mariota also went to St. Louis High School in Hawaii. So I guess they groom great quarterbacks out there.
Yes, they do, apparently.
All right. So we're going to talk we'll talk more about that as well. And again, when I saw them make the switch at quarterback, pulling Jalen Hurts out.
Gutsy move.
Yeah, it was a gutsy move. And I thought, somewhere Blake Barnett. I don't know if he was smiling, cheering. Maybe he felt bad for Jalen Hurts.
Hey.
Might be his homie. I don't know. Might be his homie.
No, I'm sure he's smiling. You showed me Blake Barnett. He's got a beautiful wife.
Yeah.
I think he's smiling. I don't care.
His wife's like a pro surfer. Or
yeah,
something.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
Yeah, good job, Blake Barnett.
All right, we're going to talk Gruden. We're going to talk the Inland Empire All-Star Classic. It's coming up. We'll also get into more UCR basketball. They got a big one coming up against Davis, who went to the NCAA tournament last year. That's how good the Aggies are, and it looks like they're pretty good again, right, Jeff?
Shima Maneki.
Get to know him.
Yes, he's
NBA player, possibly.
NBA, not superstar, but maybe has a shot to play in the NBA for a while because you figure he's averaging a double-double. He's the only guy in the conference averaging a double-double, 19 points.
I can't wait to see him with my own eyeballs.
With your own eyes.
Yeah, you saw him last year.
I saw him last year several times. Very athletic, just a big body that can move. And
which in the Big West Conference, there's not a lot of dominating big men. So if you have one, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb. They're going to be that good.
Yeah, he's very athletic, and he can step out, stretch the floor a little bit. He's just one of those guys that's super fast, super strong, agile. He's just fun to watch.
Are you describing me or Maneki over there?
I'm describing you, Pep
Strong,
Fernandez.
agile, fun to watch.
I said he was tall, though. You're a midget.
5'11".
and a half.
And we'll talk about the Ball brothers because Jeff was one of the, 170,000 people who said, you know what? I'm going to go watch that. You watch the Kardashians too?
No.
Okay.
You kidding me?
All right. Well, I just want to make sure.
I think they have pretty faces. That's about it. Rest of them, though, you get out of here.
All right. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by their great customer service, and they've got low prices. They get you in and out in a hurry, and they do the job awesome the very first time. They also have wiper blades.
Yes.
See, you know what? I was ahead of the storm. Got in there, got my blades.
Hey, the storm was brutal this morning.
Told you, we're all bracing for this, storm of 2018.
Storm Watch 2018. Yeah, it was brutal driving it.
It was bad out there.
5 o'clock in the morning, I was driving it. It was raining hard.
5 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing at 5 a.m. out there on the streets?
I get up. I'm doing some big work. Big
baller brand work.
Big baller brand. Yeah, I just know you're running your own lane is whatever he says.
Stay in your lane, Jeff.
Stay in your own lane.
5 a.m. when you're running the streets in Riverside. Dude, stay in your lane, Jeff.
Darn right, and it was wet as could be.
We're also brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire. That's not by chance. It's because they got all your great sporting gear and Letterman's jackets. All the local teams, they go to Ken's. They get their uniforms. They get the customized sweaters, the shirts, the hats. And, of course, again, Letterman's jackets as well. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bash. Check out the Overtime program for those young athletes going into the high school level. And also, they've got training programs for all disciplines of sports. Basketball, football, baseball, lacrosse, golf. They can hook it all the way up. BoostTrainingSystems.com. and Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. You can buy, you can trade, you can finance at Catalano Motors, and it's an easy, smooth car shopping experience. So check them out. And coming up on Friday, Jeff, throw you a curveball as we produce the show live on the air for the folks of the IE to hear as well. So coming up on Friday, we've got some breaking news here. Former Centennial High School quarterback Anthony Catalano,
yes,
whose father Derek owns Catalano Motors.
Yes.
Remember, out of Centennial High School, he signed with Southern Utah.
That's right. You went and got a picture in front of Southern Utah.
That's right.
I remember that.
Yeah. What was it? Cedar City? Where's that place? Cedar City, right?
Yeah.
Cedar City. I went to the football stadium in Cedar City, took a picture, all that. Big fan of Anthony Catalano. Well, I'm not going to have to go as far as Cedar City anymore.
Why, he's coming back?
He's coming back. He's going to play quarterback for a team not too far from here.
Oh, can't wait to hear.
Yeah, so on Friday, we're going to have Anthony Catalano on the show. And a little bird told me he's helping Matt Logan coach in the IE All-Star Classic as well.
Oh, very nice.
Now that he's back a little bit closer to home.
So a little tease to say.
The deep tease. That's not till Friday. The deep tease.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We'll talk more about John Gruden, the Ball Brothers, UCR Hoops, the IE All-Star Classic, and a big honor coming for the Gorham family.
Hey, look at that.
Did you spread the news? Does everybody know now?
I put it on Facebook. We'll discuss it. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. We're excited to talk about this. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
It was all that Dan Marino's fault. Everyone knows that. If he had held the ball laces out like you're supposed to, Ray would never have missed that kick. Would you like a cookie, son?
What do you know? They're little footballs.
Laces out.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
You talk to them.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cahelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the crossings. Financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
You're not salty today?
Don't mess with me, all right? Just don't mess with me.
Welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. A little Raiders music to get you fired up.
The Raiders back in Green Bay, the frozen tundra. The Raiders come to town and they take care of the Green Bay Packers.
You know, John Gruden actually talked about the Packers today in his press conference.
He did?
Because he's a Packer guy. He was part of that Packer family, you know, Mike McCarthy. You know, they all come from Holmgren. Holmgren had all these guys on his staff. They all kind of, you know, that Holmgren tree, they all sprouted out. And Gruden was one of those young guys, you know, real fiery, man.
Or fiery Gruden. He goes, you're all going to shoot the gap, and you're going to play really hard. You're going to throw a two-step back, and you're going to throw right over the middle. Perfect pass.
Oh, man, we're going to play his press conference a little bit later in the show. He had some great things to say. And again, when you listen to him, you just get fired up.
Yeah.
I'm a Raider fan. I'm a 49er guy. But you listen
like
to him. Yeah, I do love him, man. He's a good dude. And he's fired up about it. He gets up at 3 a.m., starts breaking down film, and he loves it.
See, you know, I might like him, but I still hope they lose every game. Sorry, Greg. Go Rams. Go Chargers.
They might be better next year. They might. Playoff team, Greg? Yeah. Playoff team.
Okay.
I'm gonna Lamar ball it and say playoffs.
Playoffs.
They just get a coach knows how to coach that team.
It's in existence.
Speak it into existence, Greg, right now.
Playoffs.
Greg just spoke into existence. The Raiders are a playoff team under Gruden next year.
Awesome.
Done deal. All right, welcome back to the show. We appreciate you joining us here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM every single day of your life from 3 to 6 p.m. if it's Monday through Friday. And we're also live right now on the Inland Sports Channel as well. So we had some big news. This is a short little segment, but we want to give a shout-out to the patriarch of the Gorham family.
Holy cow!
This happened during the show yesterday.
Yeah.
We had to keep our mouths shut.
I was a little flabbergasted yesterday.
Yeah, you were out of it, Jeff. It kind of threw you for a whirl.
I rarely feel any pain because I am so salty or any kind of emotion. I'm like a Vulcan. But I'll tell you what.
Like Spock?
Yeah, I'm like Spock. You know, many of you who are listening or don't know or that my father, John Gorham, was a coach in the area for 50 years. 50 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and I put I was called yesterday that he's going to be on the Wall of Distinction in the Riverside Hall of Fame.
That's big time.
I mean, that's a really nice honor. My dad's, he's 78 years old. He's put a lot of time. He's coached so many young men and women since in the mid 60s. He's been coaching in Riverside, and I put it on Facebook, and it was overwhelming. Within an hour, there was like 200 people had responded, congratulating my dad, and for a guy, he's my hero in life, and my hero as a coach, and my best friend. So it's nice that in my dad's older age that he's able to celebrate kind of what he's done, and I think it's overdue, and I'm happy for him, and thank
very
you.
Well deserving.
Yeah, and thank you to the Hall of Fame and everybody who voted him in to be on the Wall of Distinction, which is a very nice thing for my dad. So I'm happy for him. I feel kind of melancholy in the sense that he's older, and I wish he was still a young man so he could still coach. But I'm so happy for him, and my wife and family, and I know a lot of his former players. Students are going to show up at City Hall on the 20th at 3 o'clock, and they can see him stand up there, and we can make fun of him one last time before he and then maybe we'll have a nice dinner afterwards.
That's right. They do it inside the council chambers, but the actual wall's over there off, was it 14th and Market?
Yeah.
On the corner over there.
Yeah.
So the Wall of Distinction is a very big deal, and when you go over there, Jeff, or when you do, read those names on the list. I mean, it's a who's who.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest names out of Riverside are on that list, and now your dad's name's going to be on there with him.
Yeah, and I know a couple of his friends are going on the wall as well. Jerry last night called me and said that there's a lot of coaches that he's going in with that are his friends, and they're very excited about it. So I'm touched. I want to thank everybody, and it means a lot I can speak for my father because he's. I just want to say that he's very touched and very thankful for everything. So very cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was this reaction? Because I think you and I are kind of from the same fabric. Like, I have a hard time taking praise or accolades.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like the attention on me. But when you told him about it, did you try to deflect it a little bit, or was it like, oh my gosh? I mean, how did he respond? Because I would be like, like we talked about, on the inside, I'd be like, that's the coolest thing. But the outside, I'd be like, oh, thanks, I appreciate it. And like, try not to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, I think, my mom was really excited for him. And she was like, hey, it's really, it's really happy for him. He seemed genuinely happy. He's a pretty quiet guy now. If he was 20 years ago, he would have been yelling and screaming either for it or against it. But he was very, very happy for him. I mean, he was very happy. Kind of kept it inside, but I'm sure he was thoroughly pleased, to say the least.
So, yeah, that's January 20th coming up, the Wall of Distinction ceremony, and the legendary John Gorham adding his name to the list.
Pretty sweet.
That is real sweet.
Good job, Dad.
All right, when we come back, the legendary John Ramey.
Oh, he's one of my all-time favorites, too.
We got his music, too. When we come
back, that's right.
We're going to come back into the show with the musical stylings of John Ramey, who's also the play-by-play voice of the Nevada Wolfpack. We'll get you ready for San Diego State, Nevada, and all Mountain West Conference basketball. When we come back, it's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
You gotta fight for your right to vote! That's one small step for man, one giant. I have a dream.
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
You talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
For months,
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I'd say that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate, donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
It's so damn hot. Milk was a bad choice.
Now back to the Inland Sports Show. Here's Pep and Jeff.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. The musical stylings of John Ramey, also the voice of the Nevada Wolfpack, and our insider for all things Mountain West Conference. And we got San Diego State coming up against San Jose State right after the Inland Sports Show here on Fox Sports IE. But it's the Nevada Wolfpack that has jumped out to the early lead in the Mountain West Conference. John, man, I like your music. How would you describe your music?
Under lucrative.
Under lucrative.
I love it. I have it in my car. We were listening. Fat Pep and I had it in the car going up to Santa Barbara.
That's true.
To the stylings of John Ramey.
Thank you. I would call it rock and roll music or singer-songwriter music, but I mean, it's hard to say what music is anymore. I mean, so it's songwriter music.
Well, I love it. My favorite.
Well, thank you for playing it. Thank you. That track you just played is from my second album, which is Reminiscent Killings of the Heart, a double album released in 2012. I put out a third record this past October. Gorham, I think you have that. Right?
I do. Yes, I do.
That one is called, what one is that called? I've forgotten what the name of it already, but it's new.
The double album.
Oh, it's called Exposition Lines. The new one's a single album. The last one was a double album.
Oh, okay. I have the double.
You have the double?
Yes.
I'm waiting for the greatest hits.
The greatest hits of John Ramey. How are you, buddy?
They're all hits, Pep. They're all hits.
They're all greatest hits. Well, in between listening to Ramey's songs and grilling veggies on my back porch, we're following basketball pretty closely now as we're into conference play, and we begin to see a little bit of separation in terms of first place to last place. And John, Nevada, man, they're pulling away a little bit here in the Mountain West Conference.
Well, they're 4-0. They have 6 true road wins on the year. That's including non-conference and conference, which is, at least as of Saturday, tied for the most in Division I. They are setting a statement. They were favored to win the league coming in, and that's a lot of pressure, and they're getting teams' best efforts. There's a target on the backs of the Wolfpack, and they've made a statement the way they've handled it. Like, there's a noon tip-off at Air Force on Saturday, which is 11 a.m., for Nevada's body clock time, right? Pacific time. And, that's a tricky game. The Air Force is playing a Princeton offense. You're at 7,000 feet. There's not that many people in the gym. It's tricky. And the Pack were down 11 in the first half, but eventually won the game by double digits. And they're just a team that has consistently found ways to win, even when they're not at their best.
Well, Nevada's at 4-0 atop the Mountain West, followed by Boise State's at 4-1. A little bit farther down the road, you have San Diego State at 2-1. And John, I looked at the schedule, and Nevada plays San Diego State on February 10th. And then the final game of the regular season, Nevada plays on the road at San Diego State. I know that's way down the road, but that's March 3rd, final game of the season. How big do you think that Nevada-San Diego State could potentially be, that matchup on March 3rd?
Huge. Right now, I have seen Wyoming, I've seen New Mexico, I've seen Fresno State. I've not seen UNLV, but they keep losing. And so UNLV might be a team that is not as high up in the standings as we might have anticipated earlier in the year. I think right now it's Nevada, it's San Diego State, it's Boise State, and it's Wyoming. Those are the 4 kind of best teams I'm looking at right now. So that could be a huge matchup with San Diego State on the 3rd of March, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and San Diego State has a big one this weekend. They play Boise State So that'll be a good one. That's at home, too.
Oh, no, Jeff. They have San Jose State tonight at home, and I'm not going to let you look ahead because the way the Mountain West works, right, Nevada has to win that game at Air Force, right? Air Force had an RPI of like 317 going into that one.
Okay.
San Diego State,
UCR beat Air Force.
Right. San Diego State has to beat San Jose State or it torpedoes them with regard to the conference. You have enough games to make it up in the standings, but because of the teams that you're supposed to beat in this league, the disparity is so dramatic in the RPI. San Diego State has to beat San Jose State, right? Like UNLV had to beat San Jose after UNLV lost their conference opener, and they had to go to overtime in San Jose to do it, right? And that's when people started maybe taking a step back about UNLV.
Jeff, you cannot look past San Jose State. What's wrong with you?
Cannot look past the Spartans.
They might,
but yes, the Boise State matchup on Saturday. That's the game. That's the game of the day in the conference. Nevada will host Utah State at home. Nevada's been very good at home. Should take care of business against the Aggies. Boise State hosting San Diego State is the game of the night in the Mountain West on Saturday.
And, John, it looks like there's a logjam. I know it's early in conference play, but there's already a logjam building in the middle of the Mountain West Conference, including Fresno State and our good friend Deshaun Taylor out at North High School here in Riverside, who's the leading scorer for the Bulldogs. But Fresno State, New Mexico, right now Wyoming. San Diego State's actually in the mix right now because we're still early in the season. There's just not a big sample size. There's not a lot of games yet. But there's a logjam building right now in the middle of the conference. Is the Mountain West one of those conferences where only one team will get in to the NCAA tournament? Or could you potentially see 2, maybe 3 teams get in?
So this league has been one bid for several seasons now. There is hope. There was hope specifically when UNLV had such a good non-conference schedule that there might be multiple bids for the Mountain West. But right now, if you look at the prognosticators, the Warren Nolans, they say it's still a one-bid league, which means the Pack or whomever, excuse me. Sorry, I keep hitting my fork on my rice bowl there. It's very unprofessional radio. Sorry. But twice now. I think that it's going to take a great run through the conference and the conference tournament. Right now, it doesn't look like a multiple bid league.
We're talking with John Ramey. He's the voice of the Nevada Wolfpack here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. As we're talking Mountain West Conference basketball, and again, San Diego State and San Jose State coming up right after the Inland Sports Show here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. So, John, you made the rounds in all those big West Conference cities. Well, so far, I know it's still early in the season, but in the Mountain West Conference, what are some of your favorite spots, your favorite cities, maybe arenas, places you've been so far on the Nevada tour?
Well, we've been to Fresno State, which is a tremendous place to play because Fresno wins like crazy at home. You mentioned the Bulldogs in the middle of the pack, and unless they stop being really good at home, they're going to be at minimum in the middle of the pack this year. And then we just got back from Air Force, which I had been to years ago with UC Riverside, but it had been several years. And it's great. The Air Force Academy campus, the architecture, it does not look like a normal university, right? It looks like a command center. And the architecture is imposing and magnificent. And then they have a cool Clune Arena where the Air Force plays. It's really neat because it's a dual arena. There's a hockey rink, and then there's a basketball floor. And the seats are packed in tight, kind of steep. You're right on the action. And Air Force has a very good drum and bugle corps. Their fight song is Off We Go into the Great Wild Blue Yonder, which I think is just tremendous. So Air Force so far, but I'm looking forward to Laramie. Never been there. 7,200 feet, right?
Yeah.
And having seen Wyoming and Nevada earlier, don't sleep on Wyoming. They are long, and they are fast, and they are good at home, and they were tough on the road at Nevada. So watch out for the Cowboys.
Hey, but there's 2 other arenas that you need to see, and I've been to both of these, but you get to go to the Pit, which is a great place to watch a game.
So Nevada does not go to the Pit this year, but I have called a Riverside game at the Pit years ago, and that's one of the most historically significant places in the sport. I love it.
Well, how did you guys skip the Pit? How does that work?
It's just not on the schedule, Pep.
It's not a home and home with all the teams in conference?
No, they rotate one, I guess. It's almost everybody. We skipped the pit this year.
Yeah, it's too bad because I hear Albuquerque has a lot of like hot spots at night where you could play a gig. You could have sold some CDs in New Mexico.
Albuquerque's a good town. When we went there with UC Riverside, I'm going to say it was 09-10 season. I hit the New Mexico State swap meet in Albuquerque, and I bought a vintage watch that I still have. I really liked it. Yeah.
Hey, wait a sec. I heard about this watch. We'll have to talk off the air. Yeah, Maxwell and Tony were talking about this watch.
Really?
Yeah. There was a mention.
Well, I have two vintage watches. One is my father's that I wear right now. That was actually his father's. They might be talking about that one.
I think they had talked about the swap meet watch.
Oh, there's a story behind it, huh?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, Tony and Maxwell might remember that.
Yeah, they did say something to me about your transition from when you started at UC Riverside and then how you finished. You know, you were like came in like just a cowboy type guy where you're motorcyclist playing guitar, and then you kind of merged into wearing ties on the road, wearing watches, and that's how the watch came up.
Oh, that's funny. Well, it's probably true. It's probably true. You know, I've tried to embrace the cultures of where I've worked.
Well, you are still fondly remembered and talked about daily on the UC Riverside campus, and everywhere we go, they always say, "Hey, John Ramey, you grew about 1.5 feet," and I go, "I'm sorry, it's not me," and they get all sad.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, Jeff, congratulations to your father, by the way. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a big honor, and I think we're all pretty excited about it. So thank you very much.
That's super cool.
Yeah, going to that UC Santa Barbara game on Saturday night. I walked in to get a parking pass for Jeff over here. He's waiting in the car, and I walk in with Maxwell, and the SID up there, I think it was Bill Mahoney. Does that sound right, John? You might know better than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him talking to Maxwell. He's like, "Hey, where's John Ramey at?" So I was like, "Oh man, everyone loves Ramey. In fact, you're still in the broadcast because we play some of the commercial spots." Yes. It's like, "Hi everybody, this is John Ramey, voice of the UCR Highlanders."
Well, hey, I'll take it, man. Listen, I miss Southern. It's going great in Nevada, but I do miss Southern California. So it's quite flattering to hear that. I mean, the Big West is a great league, and I have a lot of friends. And now Riverside could not get it done in the Thunderdome, and Riverside, I don't think they've ever won in Santa Barbara in any building they've ever played basketball in there. That was one of the streaks I was disappointed not to see end, is that the Highlanders have not won in Santa Barbara in men's basketball since the earth cooled.
Hey, and they might have beat him, except a Nevada graduate transfer killed him. Leland King had 22 on him.
He had 17 in the first half. They built that huge lead in the first half, and Leland King was just unstoppable.
So,
how was the atmosphere at the Thunderdome? Because when the Gauchos are rolling, that's a really cool gym, but I've also been there when it's kind of blah.
Well, they weren't in class. I think that was part of the problem. Like, the school was not in session, but they still had a pretty good crowd. Mitch Kupchak was there because his son's on the team. We had some guys behind us on our shoulders.
We had guys grabbing us during the broadcast. People were grabbing us.
Go Gauchos! And what's the one guy called Alex Larson, Pau Gasol?
He's going, "Hey, soft Gasol!" It was really funny. But the thing is, it smelled like you were in a brewery because the fans behind us were so unruly and wonderful at the same time.
Wow, I've never had a problem with a Gaucho fan like being unruly.
Oh,
they were in a good way.
It was unruly.
Okay, good.
We were laughing we were kind of laughing under our breath. We had to tune down the mixer because we were laughing kind of hard. But yeah, it was good.
That's good.
They were funny in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah. Never felt threatened.
Coach? Sorry, guys. I don't want to run over time, but Coach Bell's doing okay.
Always. I think he's just bummed because they've come back and they've just come up short 2 games in a row. But he's doing great. I think he's doing a really fantastic job with the cards he's dealt, and I think the guys are still buying into it. So I think
good.
I think we want him to do well just because we're with him all the time, and I think the team wants him to do well. So it's a win-win for him, I think.
Love me some Jay Bell, man.
Great guy.
He's a good dude. And now that he's the head coach, we get to see another side of him. He's pretty fiery. Like, he's pretty animated, and he gets off the bench, and he's not afraid to let the referees know what's on his mind. So it's interesting to see this other side of him. When you're the head coach, you obviously you take on more of an authoritative role, and he certainly does that. So it's kind of cool to see that come out in him.
Speaking of head coaches, Pep, I don't know if you know this. I went to high school with Rick Croy, so that was hilarious when you were doing the bit about the solid day, kids. Let's have a great,
Couldn't you picture him saying that?
Of course, yeah.
Now I want to know something. When he was playing, was he a team guy or was he a scorer? What kind of guy was he like in high school?
He's a good player. So he was, I'm going to say he was maybe the second or third leading scorer on a state championship team, 1995 Northgate High School, Broncos, Walnut Creek. Shout out, East Bay. And Croy was a senior, and he was long, and he could shoot it from the outside, but he was an intense defender. He'd bang. I mean, he'd do anything you want. I mean, he was a really team player. He was a good basketball player.
So he was the one of the basketball players at the same high school as John Ramey. I had no idea. Did you guys run in the same circles?
Well, he was 2 years ahead of me. Still is. And no,
it works that way.
We were friendly for sure. And then I bumped into him when Riverside played at St. Mary's years ago. He was an assistant there, and it was like old times. Yeah, no, I mean, I knew him pretty well. We weren't like super tight, but yeah, friendly.
But he's the more tough guy, coach stuff. But I'm going to say this: you're the cooler of the two. You're just cool.
Stop it! He's a state champ. He's a state champion. 1995.
Yeah. Hold on, but does Rick Croy have a couple albums out?
I haven't asked Rick.
Yeah,
I don't know. He could.
Yeah, there's no way he's as cool as you. I don't think Rick Croy drives a motorcycle, for one.
Well,
and I'm telling you, anyone that drives a motorcycle is cool in my book, and that can wear a guitar on his back. Nonetheless, that is even cooler.
Now, Gorham, I've never ridden a motorcycle with a guitar strapped to me. I've never done that. That's not that cool.
But in my fantasy, you have.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, in the music video. That's what
exactly.
I'll do. Yeah.
Hey, John, before we wrap this up, we've got all your songs right here. Which one do you want to go out on? I'll let you pick. This is like Pick Your Own Adventure. You know those books you used to read as a kid where you get to pick your own adventure? This is one of them.
Is it just that double album, or what do you have there? iTunes? What do you got? See, you don't know.
I'm on
That's
YouTube
the problem.
right now.
Yeah. Oh, YouTube. Okay. Gosh, I'm just trying to pick one that doesn't have like.
I'm kind of partial to the Norco
word.
Blues, only because it's an Inland Empire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's Play that one. That's a good song.
Is it nice and clean? Is it clean, John?
I'm pretty sure it's clean.
Okay, because I heard between you and Snoop, I heard you guys really like to use the profanity.
Yeah, it drops in every now and then. You know what? More so back then than now. I write cleaner now.
Well, here's Norco. Oh, wait, I wanted to like the DJ. Ladies and gentlemen, John Lafayette Ramey with Norco Blues.
63 degrees outside, 8:32. We'll be right back. No, that is the Norco Blues. It's the one and only John Ramey here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. John, enjoy a couple days with no basketball, I guess, this week. I know you're back in action on Saturday, right?
That's right. It's too cold to ride my motorcycle, so I'm just enjoying 53-degree Reno right now.
Just writing the next album.
Hey.
Just hunkering down with the guitar, knocking out the next one.
Just go bowling. You're right next to the National Bowling Center, for gosh sakes. Go out and bowl a few.
You know that is a great place. You can't just walk in there and bowl, though. It's for pros only.
But I told you, isn't it the coolest thing ever? I told you about it.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's where they have the World Championship of Bowling is right there, and it has a full-on stadium. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's like the Churchill Downs of bowling. It's like half a mile from my apartment.
I can bowl too. That's another thing. I can beat you in bowling too.
Bring it on.
All right.
Miniature golf, bowling, bring it on. Grilling veggies, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I don't eat fungus. I won't eat a mushroom.
John, you're the best. Let's catch up again next week and enjoy the game on Saturday.
Thanks, man. Love you guys. Peace.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
The great John Ramey and the Norco Blues here on the Inland Sports Show.
He's very talented.
He is
really
very talented.
And a really funny guy. I've enjoyed many evenings laughing hysterically.
He said Rick Croy was, 2 years younger than me. Still is. Or Rick Croy was 2 years older than him and still is.
He's the best.
All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. How about Trevor Oates?
Ooh, we have a pro baseball player coming
Traded
up.
from the Dodgers to the Royals, the pride of Riverside out of Woodcrest Christian and Cal Baptist. He's coming up. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Now all I want for my
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the Crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Details at fisherhouse.org/golf.
Russell Wilson here with Play 60. United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids!
To get involved, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Donate!
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course!
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
From the Cold Star Ice Studios, it's Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, KUBE, Riverside.
If you want to learn to swim, you've got to jump in the water.
Don't forget to feed Bruiser. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Whoa! This can't be happening. I think I've gotten some stuff out of your head that has nothing to do with navigating this ship.
Now back to the Inland Sports Show. Here's Pep and Jeff.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. We're proudly brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training, and Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. Now, we're fired up about this. We love Trevor Oaks. We love Woodcrest Christian and Cal Baptist University. And Trevor Oaks is getting a brand new start with the Kansas City Royals. Had a great run in the Dodgers organization, but was part of a big trade that recently happened. And Trevor's kind enough to join us here live on the Inland Sports Show. Trevor, first off, welcome to the show and the big trade going from the Dodgers to the Royals. Was that kind of a surprise to you?
Yeah, I was in Washington, D.C. for a rookie career development camp, and it just got a phone call while I was at dinner, and it was just kind of a shock to me. So it was, something I wasn't expecting, but I'm really looking forward to the opportunity.
You know, I'm always curious about when trades go down because for us as sports fans, we see a press release or we go to, foxsports.com and we just read a little blurb saying, hey, the Dodgers made a trade and this is who was involved. And that's like the end of the story, but I'm always curious to see how it actually unfolds. Like you said, you just simply got a phone call. I mean, how does that work now? So now you have to get in touch with the Royals staff and, or did they reach out to you and when do they want you to report by? And now you've got to, all these things behind the scenes are taking place, right?
Right. There's kind of a lot of factors that happen after you get the news, and usually somebody in the front office contacts you. In my case, it was the GM, Dayton Moore, and so he and I just had a conversation, and then just a couple days after, you receive a lot of phone calls from just the different people on staff, athletic trainers, strength coaches, pitching coaches, you name it, everybody's calling, and you just got to kind of put your best foot forward and meet everybody. So it's kind of a cool opportunity.
We're talking with Trevor Oaks of the Kansas City Royals, formerly, of course, of Woodcrest Christian and Cal Baptist here on the Inland Sports Show. And Trevor, in those brief conversations that you've had with some of the brass of the Royals, have they said how they might see you fitting into their plans for the upcoming season?
They just said that I'll have an opportunity to be a starter and to win a job out of camp. I think it's just kind of dependent on how I perform in spring training, and I'll let them make that decision at that time. But I'm really looking forward to trying to win that job for sure.
Now, last year, this is Jeff, by the way. Last year, you had a good minor league year, but apparently you had a little bit of an injury. How are you feeling now going into this spring training?
I feel really good. I was definitely disappointed that my season got cut short again just from injury, and I'm working hard this year to stay healthy and kind of adjust my workout routine so that I can put my body in a better position and be a little more athletic. So I've been really happy with the results so far, and I'm hoping that they translate onto the field as well.
Now, we recently had Jim Alexander from the Press Enterprise on the show. We have him about once a week, and we were actually talking about you last week, saying, "Hey, it looks like Trevor Oaks is set up to maybe get a shot to make the Dodgers starting rotation because they had traded away Brandon McCarthy, and because of some injury issues, we thought, hey, you know what, Trevor's got a shot." And then we got the news that you were traded to the Royals, and Jim Alexander and myself and Jeff over here, we all agreed that maybe this is even better for you. Kansas City's obviously a great organization, but maybe a better shot to crack that starting rotation, like you mentioned. I know you're going to miss the Dodgers, but do you feel like maybe this is a better situation for your individual career?
Yeah, I think they just mentioned that they're rebuilding right now and kind of starting over. And so whenever that happens, like, you got a lot of young guys coming in and fighting for spots. So just the way it's looking right now, I think they do have some openings where I'm hoping to win a job. And, whereas with the Dodgers, they have a lot of guys with a lot of big league experience. And, I think I would have had a good opportunity there, but the way it's looking with the Royals, it's looking pretty good. So I'm excited for sure.
And I think our fantasy was for you to pitch to, of course, Austin Barnes of Riverside Poly.
Yeah, of course, right.
And that was kind of everybody's thought process because you were playing for the Dodgers. It would have been great to have an all Riverside connection, winning ball games.
Battery, yeah.
But it's not bad. You're going to a place that just recently won a World Series, so you have a shot really to make an impact with this new staff.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the Royals and their great fan base and everything. So I'm really looking forward to meeting the guys. I just got a phone call today for an invitation to the Fan Fest. So I'm really looking forward to that and meeting some of the players and coaches as well as the fans too.
Now, Trevor, when you go to spring training, obviously it's going to be a little bit different as compared to what you're familiar with the Dodgers. Is it kind of like going to I would say like your first day of school, like that anticipation, like, oh, I've got a new teacher, I'm going to have new classmates, hopefully I'll see someone I know. Like, what's it like going into a spring training when you're going to a new organization, a new team?
I'd say that's a pretty good comparison. I'd say, like, it's all new, so I don't really know exactly what it's going to be like, but I just remember my first spring training with the Dodgers, it was just like, you're meeting all these new faces and new guys, and just like everything else, there's a lot of change in this, and I'm going to have to make some adjustments and try to remember a lot of new names and meeting new people and everything. But I think just having that pro ball experience of being in the minor leagues for a while now, it's kind of prepared me in. Being at the older levels, you kind of understand like what you need to do and what your expectation is. So
we've got Trevor Oakes here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM, the newest addition to the Kansas City Royals. And Trevor, we covered your sister Tessa out there at Woodcrest Christian, of course, CBU volleyball now this season. Do you come from like a competitive athletic family? Like, where did you get this competitiveness and the drive to want to compete and be the best you could on the baseball diamond?
Definitely from my parents. Even though my parents didn't really play high school sports, like they're both very competitive people. And like, my dad didn't really play sports, but he's really athletic, and so is my mom. So they always like told me and my sisters while we were young, like, hey, we want you to be active and have fun and compete and like do your best at whatever you set your heart at. Like if it's music or sports or whatever it is, like do it to the best of your ability and to God's glory. So that's kind of where we get that from.
Well, Trevor, it's funny you brought up music. Because Jeff over here, he loves Google.
Yes.
And he was Googling you, and he got the video of the piano. In fact, Jeff, I know Trevor can't hear it. We're going to play a little bit of his musical stylings on the piano over here, but you wanted to ask him about playing the piano.
Yeah, I mean, did you take lessons growing up? I mean, you were a big hit last year with the Dodgers spring training.
Yeah, I took lessons when I was like in elementary school. I stopped when I was like 12. And it just became kind of like a little hobby to like learn songs off of YouTube or, just find stuff that I really enjoy to play. And, I probably messed myself up a little bit when I told him that, but it worked out okay. And it was a little embarrassing at the time, but I had a good time and it turned out okay.
Did they bring in the actual piano just for you to play? Is that kind of what happened? Or was there one just sitting around?
No, they brought it in. They Doc told everybody, like, initially we were supposed to go to like dueling pianos, and I think they closed it down in Westgate. So they're like, well, I guess we're just gonna have to bring the piano to this guy. And I got a phone call. I was like hanging out with some guys the night before, and one of the clubhouse managers called me and was like, hey, make sure you're ready tomorrow morning. Like, we got the piano in tonight. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to have to play the piano in front of all these guys before I can even pitch in front of them. Like, I was so nervous.
Because we're looking at some video. Of course, Dave Roberts is there. I mean, it looks like all the big Dodger names, they're all huddled around you, right? Watching you play the piano.
Yeah, it's the whole front office. Clayton Kershaw's there. I have to play the piano in front of Kershaw before I can be teammates with him. It's just crazy.
So did you do
but
this?
It was fun.
Was this before you actually started spring training? Did you know? You didn't know these guys? They just said, this is how you open it?
Yeah, pretty much. I was the first guy to go. We all do, player introductions and stuff, and I think I had, a couple days of workouts, but, I hadn't pitched in a game yet, and that was, my first, kind of introduction with the team. So it was okay, here we go.
That's amazing. Hey, Trevor, before we let you go, we've had Gary Adcock, the skipper out there at Cal Baptist, on the show several times, and last time we had him on, we were talking about the fact that CBU is anxiously awaiting to see their first Lancer make it all the way to the big leagues. Your name was at the very top of the list. There's Adam Hofackett in the Angels organization as well. But what would it mean to make it to the major leagues, not only for yourself, but for Riverside, for Cal Baptist University? I mean, there's a lot of people anxiously awaiting to see your career unfold and get that first start at the big league level.
Yeah, I mean, that would mean the world to me. I think both Adam Hofackett and Caleb Dirks, all of us are, kind of right there, and I think there's a big opportunity for all three of us to be in the big leagues next year, and, it could be something really cool for Cal Baptist and the city of Riverside. So we're really excited and hope that happens, and we all talk and work out together, so it's kind of cool, and obviously, we just want to continue that trend. I think CBU is doing a really good job, and I hope that they get some other recruits in there, and hopefully we won't be the last guys in that position. So,
well, Trevor, we are definitely cheering you on. We can't wait to see you one of these days take the mound at the big league level. And if you're ever back in Riverside and you've got a couple minutes to spare, I have an old keyboard in my garage. I'm sure I could still turn it on. We'd love to get you in studio, just wailing away on the keyboard here and playing some music for us. Just picture like the Dodgers clubhouse and come in the studio and play for all of us.
Yeah, sure. I'll put you guys to sleep. No problem.
It's the great Trevor Oaks, the pride of Woodcrest Christian and Cal Baptist University, here on the Inland Sports Show, the newest member of the Kansas City Royals. Trevor, I know you're very busy. You're on the East Coast right now, so we really do appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk to us here on Fox Sports IE.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you, Trevor, and best of luck.
Trevor.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
The great Trevor Oaks, man. Trevor Oaks, man. Like, what a good guy.
Hey, and I'm just looking through the clippings here. They're putting him down. They're saying he's the new starter of the Kansas City Royals, and that's in the Kansas City newspapers.
Yeah, you know what? Because remember, we went through the Kansas City Royals depth chart, what they had in terms of starting pitching, and we were thinking, you know what? He's probably at least number 4 on the starting rotation. Of course, we're a little biased, right? We want to see Trevor Oaks succeed, and we think he's like the man. But I think he's easily in the rotation. Now, he could be like maybe the 3rd or 4th guy in that rotation.
Yeah, they say that he's going to be a mid-rotation.
See?
Or a back-end starter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're excited about it. They said last year, he had some oblique issues, but, he led the AAA Oklahoma City with inducing 26 double plays. So the guy can pitch, knows he can place the ball anywhere he wants. He's one of those strong dudes.
Hey, so we played a little piano music, but remember he was talking about Dave Roberts. Everyone calls him Doc. The players call him Doc.
Yes.
Dave Roberts, the skipper of the Dodgers. The fact that he had Trevor play in the clubhouse, we found that video. Can we play that for everybody right now?
Yes.
All right, so this is Trevor Oaks in the Dodgers clubhouse, and there's Dave Roberts standing right next to Trevor Oaks at the piano.
And think about it, Gary Adcock played with the skip.
Oh, that's right. At UCLA.
That's right.
You owe me a soda, Jinx. You owe me a soda. Yeah, here's Dave Roberts introducing the musical stylings of Trevor Oaks from the Dodgers clubhouse. This was last spring training. Spring training down there at Camelback Ranch.
All right, everyone give Trevor Oaks a warm welcome. Come on, Trevor.
It's like a talent show.
He's pretty good. Kershaw's staring him down like he looked up.
There's Kershaw, there's Dave Roberts.
He's like, hey, you're too good a pitcher and you're playing piano. We're going to have to beat you up.
Actually, this video is from Adrian Gonzalez. He shot it on his phone.
Take him off.
So that was Trevor Oaks in the Dodgers clubhouse, surrounded by Clayton Kershaw, the best pitcher in baseball, his manager. And again, he hadn't even taken the mound yet for the Dodgers. They're like, hey, here's the new guy. He's going to entertain us here.
He is straight talent. I'm telling you.
Oh, he's the best. And honestly, like one of the nicest guys, we talk about this a lot, that there's some guys from the Inland Empire, they never come back or they're hard to get a hold of. Man, Trevor Oaks is so accommodating. He loves Riverside. He still represents, and we appreciate that. Now we're fingers crossed hoping he's going to crack that starting rotation for the Kansas City Royals, and it looks like he is. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but it looks like he's got a really good shot in Kansas City.
How cool would that be? I mean, honestly, of course we'd love to see him in Dodger Blue because we could see him play on an everyday basis.
With Austin Barnes, that was a great point.
But still, I mean, look at the guys we've had. There was Brad Pounders played for the Royals for a short time before going to
Brooks
the Angels.
Pounders.
Brooks,
yep.
That's his dad, my fault. So yeah, I mean, we've had guys come through there before, but it'd be really nice to see him break that rotation and do so well next year.
And maybe before he gets into the rotation, he can come in studio with that old keyboard of mine in the garage.
That would be sweet.
And really just go to work on tickling the ivories, as they say, right? The pianists out there, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
He could be like
tickling the ivories.
He is the Liberace of the Kansas City Royals.
Is he?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a good one, but yeah, okay. I'll call him. That's what his new nickname will be, Liberace.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if that one's going to stick. Trevor Oaks is like, please, no.
Liberace Oaks.
When we come back, do you want to hear from John Gruden?
I always want to hear from John Gruden.
He's the new head football coach for the Oakland Raiders, and he had his big press conference today. Everyone's talking about it. He had I'd call it like Twitter gold, like Instagram gold. Like he said so many great things. It was just like striking gold. So we're going to hear from John Gruden, the new head football coach of the Oakland Raiders, when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
I thought you had a day off yesterday.
I did. I went in there to pick up my check, came home. Supervisor called me about 4 o'clock.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
How you guys doing? Coach Ray here. We're back at the Boost Performance Center with the one and only Pep Fernandez. Today we're going to go over our A-Skip series. We've got a couple of great videos for you guys. Come check us out. All right, so we're back with our Boost Performance School student athletes, building on our A-Skip series here. So the next drill is going to be a complete absolute speed A-Skip. So we've gone over the acceleration A-Skip, we've gone over a butt kick skip. Now it's the complete A-Skip. So really that completes the cycle. I'm going to get that rhythm. I'm going to pull my heel to my butt. I'm going to step over my opposite knee and put that foot down as quickly as possible. I don't want to kick my knee out. It's all in the hip here. Heel to the butt, step around the knee and put it down quick. Absolute speed A-Skip, really opening up the stride here. So Josh is going to start us off. He's going to get that rhythm. Now we're looking for that cycle here. Over and around. Over and around here, Josh. Here we go, Samari. There it is. Bring it around. Bring it around. Good. Heel to the butt. Good. There it is. Good. We're going to go heel to the butt first. There it is. Good. Put it back down. All in the hip. Good. So we don't want to extend our knee too much. We want to get that heel tight. Good. Nice, DT. Bring it over and around. Good. All right, so that completes our skip series. We're really big on technique. Teaching athletes how to run is everything, and we do it right here at Boost. Whether it's acceleration, top end speed, we know speed here.
Stuff.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And we're back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, every single day of your life with Jeff Gorham, Pep Fernandez, big holla down here. And man, Trevor Oakes, what a stud, calling live from the East Coast, talking about the trade from the Dodgers to the Royals and his piano skills. And Jeff, it's funny, I was just on the gram, and CBU Baseball alerting all former CBU alumni. The big baseball game is coming up for the alumni February 3rd. I wonder if Trevor Oakes is going to come back. He might not play in it.
He can play like right
field. He
field.
can hang out. Yeah, he can
right
maybe
field.
shag some balls in the outfield or something like that. I mean, he doesn't have to like get on the mound and bring some heat.
No, he's a pro. He's a pro baseball player. That's the coolest thing in the world is to say you're a pro.
Now, we've seen some of those UC Riverside alumni games, and they get some of the major league guys that come back, and most of them, you know, they're hanging out in the dugout.
Yeah.
Like you said, maybe they'll go out in the outfield and kind of mess around a little bit. But Joe Kelly, he was that one guy for the Boston Red Sox. He's a pitcher.
Yes.
He was out there for real. I mean, he had stars and stripes, like American flag shorts. You remember that?
I do remember that, yes.
He had like the American flag shorts, but he came out there like in real cleats with a real glove. He was playing like first base. Like he was in it to win it. I'm like, okay, well, this guy's here for real. Everyone else is just hanging out, having a good time.
Got to play. I just want to know if Percy ever throws during the alumni game. He's an alumnus.
He could, yeah. Why not? He could play in that game.
I'm going to take him deep. I'm going to take Troy Percival's going to.
If you survive.
Oh, he couldn't hurt me.
If you survive. If you don't survive, I want your laptop.
You can have it. I'm telling you, I'm going to take Percival deep.
Oh, man.
Percy has none on me. I seriously, I'm going to hit a home run.
That could get ugly.
No. I mean, if he hits me, If he hits me, there's going to be a big fight.
Nope.
And I outweigh him right now. Maybe.
He's a big guy, too. What do you think?
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5"?
He's probably 6'4", 6'5", probably goes 240 maybe. He's not 6'8", 285 though, my friend.
He's not a big scrapping
No.
Jeff Gorham over here.
Nah, but I can only fight for like 8 seconds before I get tired. So it'd be a really...
You'd be a great cowboy then. You just need 8 seconds on a bull. So
8 seconds. Buck and Bronco, baby.
All right. The big football news today, everyone's talking about it. It's a silver and black Tuesday.
Wait. Chris Chaddick?
Oh, do you want to break that news?
Oh, I thought that's what you were going to say that.
No, I was going to talk about your boy Chucky.
I was
Chaddick, Chucky.
Chris Chaddick, formerly of San Gorgonio's football staff and the San Bernardino Valley staff, is now going to be the defensive coordinator. Where?
Carter High School.
Congratulations to one of my favorite guys in the whole world.
Which is funny because you started out as adversaries, didn't you? You were Salty G. He coined it, Salty G.
He did. I'm still salty with him, and I'm not going to admit that I really... In fact, I really dislike him very much, but I'm not, just...
But you're still happy for him.
Yeah, I'm really happy for that guy. Yeah, what a great guy. Honest to goodness. Of all
and a good
people,
follow on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah,
if you want to laugh and like looking at food, he's a good follow.
Oh, he's just a great guy. Going to be a dad. It's a good year to be Chris Chaddick.
Yeah. Except for now he's got a game plan for Cajon. As the defensive coordinator, you still got to go against Jaden Daniels and Darren Jones and the rest of the Cajon Cowboys, so that'll be a lot of fun. But congratulations to Coach Chaddick, the new DC out there at Carter High School. Okay, so I take it back, Jeff.
Okay.
That was the big news.
That was my big news.
The other news today in the football world was John Gruden, officially introduced as the new head football coach for the Oakland Raiders. Big press conference up in Oakland, and as you pointed out, all the old Raiders came back, right?
The Raiders.
You don't see that very much.
No.
Like, you only see that when they feel like it's one of their own. Jerry Rice was a Niner, but he was there. Remember, he played for the Raiders for a little bit. I don't count it. Joe Montana was a Chief. I don't count that either.
No.
Jerry Rice was there. Tim Brown was there. Charles Woodson was there. I think some of the old school guys. I think Jim Otto was there.
Come on!
I think I saw Howie Long in the video. Like,
was his chin and hair perfectly flat?
Oh yeah,
big hair.
Oh,
big.
like he stepped right out of a J.C. catalog.
Man,
I mean, like he looked all put together.
Al Davis is smiling in
Al Davis.
Al Davis is.
They wheeled Al Davis in. They did. They pushed him in.
Weekend at Bernie's?
Yeah, just like Weekend at Bernie's. I'm telling you, you thought he was on ice all this time because they froze him so they can bring him back to life someday. It's like Walt Disney's head.
Today's the day. Didn't they say about that Ted Williams?
Ted Williams' head.
Ted Williams.
You have Ted Williams' head, you have Walt Disney's head, and you have Al Davis's head.
That's an old myth, though, isn't that?
Not in my fantasy, it's not. I hope they bring them all back. I want Walt Disney to come back and talk to us. Just a head.
He'll be like, what's going on with Star Wars? What did you guys do to my Star Wars? No, it's not his. Disney took it over.
I'm telling you.
I'll leave that alone.
I want to see Al Davis's head. I want to see him come back.
Well, his son was there, Mark Davis, who's got the worst haircut, straight from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, he does that bad hair.
But he did bring back John Gruden. He talked about it in the press conference that he's been trying to get John Gruden for like 6 years. When Al Davis passed away and he took control of the team, he said in the press conference, he said that he wanted to surround himself with people that embodied the Raiders and that were successful. And he's like, the first guy on the list was John Gruden.
Are they going to trade him again?
Like, no, in fact, Charles Woodson, former Raider, asked him, hey, is it in your contract that you can't be traded? And I don't know. There was probably some seriousness in that question, but they all kind of laughed it off. And John Gruden did say, yeah, there's a no-trade clause.
Oh, he was...
Because he was traded from the Raiders to the Buccaneers, which is very strange for a head coach.
But you know what he was traded for, right? He was traded for three kicking tees, an ice machine, and old jerseys. That's what they traded him for. That's how bad they wanted to get rid of him. That's it.
And they were really good. And so it was funny. They brought up the fact that he was traded by the Raiders. They brought up the fact that the Tuck rule, the game against Tom Brady, and was it a fumble? They brought that. It was kind of funny, but also like it almost gets you fired up. I know it's January and we're still in the middle of the NFL playoffs, but if you're a Raider fan, you heard that, you're like, okay, I'm ready for August. I'm ready for kickoff. Let's bring the season around. John Gruden, man, I'm fired up about it, man.
He was wearing a suit and tie and everything?
Oh, silver and black suit, man. Silver and black Tuesday around here.
Whatever.
You want to hear from John Gruden?
I always want to hear from John Gruden. Hey, shoot the gap. Shoot the gap. Go ahead.
He was breaking down all the football terms. He said all the right things. He wants to bring all the old Raiders back into the fold. A commitment to
Ken
excellence.
Stabler? Is Ken Stabler making a comeback?
Snake, he might have been there. Like I told you, it was a whole room of old Raiders just hanging out because they're excited to see Gruden make his triumphant return to Oakland. Here's the new head football coach of your Raiders, John Gruden.
The Raiders. I never thought I'd be back, but here I am, and I'm ready to get to work. And I just want to say that there's really 4 major reasons that I am here coaching today. And number one, I love football. I love the players that play it. I love the preparation. I love the journey. Love football. And I love the city of Oakland. I had a son here. Some of my great memories in life are in Oakland. And I want to give them 2 of the best years of football that I can possibly help deliver. And I love the Raiders. The brand is global. Everywhere I went as a Monday Night Football analyst, the Raider Nation would come out of the ground. I love the Raiders. And most of all, I love to win. And I'm going to do everything I can. No guarantees, no promises, but I want to win. I look forward to working with Reggie and his staff. We've got a lot of work to do. We've hired 3 coordinators already. Paul Gunther from the Cincinnati Bengals is official. Great addition to our football team. Rich Bisaccia will be our special teams coordinator from the Dallas Cowboys. And Greg Olson will be our offensive coordinator coming over from the LA Rams. So I can't wait to get started. And it's an emotional time for me, but I'll answer any questions I can. Thank you.
So that was John Gruden.
Hey, was Fred Biletnikoff or Art Shell there?
Art Shell.
Gene Upshaw, Willie Brown, George Blanda, Jim Otto, any of those guys?
I think Jim Otto might have been there.
Yeah, I don't. Stabler, he would have been dead, so yeah, he might not have showed up. Kenny Stabler died, so
he wasn't there.
He was
Unless
not
he's there with Al Davis.
I
don't think is possible.
He was not there. Hey, he was from Oakland. I have a great Oakland story. You want to hear my Oakland story?
Uh-oh.
It's a quick one.
About the Raiders, or?
Well, it's kind of. There was probably a Raider fan that did it. I was walking after basketball practice.
If it's a delinquent, you're just associating the Raiders
yes,
with
of course. Oh, this is definitely a delinquent. I was at Cal Berkeley my freshman year, right? And I'm walking after practice. I had to take the BART train to get to my humble abode off of Martin Luther King Avenue in Oakland. I got off the BART, and then I'm walking. And as I'm walking, I hear this, "Hey, you!" And I look over, and somebody threw a milkshake at me.
What?
Hey, and it didn't just hit me. It hit me square in the chest and face. A full milkshake. A full-on,
"Hey, you!"
"Hey, you!" And they threw a milkshake, and it hit me smack in the chest, and it ruined my sweatshirt, and I had milkshake all over my face.
You did?
Yeah, I had to walk like a mile and a half with a milkshake all over me. They were driving in a car, and it hurt. Yeah, I'm not kidding. They were driving in a car, and they threw it out of the window.
They had a Raiders beanie on,
They were definitely, I think it was probably Art Shell. That's what I thought it was. But yeah, it was hitting the chest in Oakland. So anytime I think of Oakland, I think of the Raider fans, and he hit me square in the chest.
They wasted a perfectly good milkshake on you.
It tasted pretty good. It hit me right. I mean, seriously, it was all over me. It was all over. It hit me square. I've never been hit so hard in my life with anything.
What did you think? Like, what happened? Like, why would they do that?
I thought I was shot.
Mad at me? Do I know
I thought I was shot, but then I tasted it, and it was fantastic. I was like, well, that's pretty good. But I was licking my sweatshirt. Oh yeah, I ruined everything. I was so mad.
Being a Cal basketball player, do you think those smart Stanford kids came over on the Cal campus and?
No, they were Raider fans. Hit me in the chest with a milkshake. No joke. Hey, was Bo Jackson there?
You have to watch it. I don't know. Some of the faces I saw, again, Jerry Rice, not a true Raider. Tim Brown, Charles Woodson, Howie Long. Those were some of the guys that stood out, but it was the John Gruden show, basically. It was them, it was media, and John Gruden answering all the questions up there.
How about, was Jamarcus Russell there?
You think he's invited back?
He's the biggest bust in history.
I wonder what he's doing right now, Jamarcus Russell.
He's making a comeback. He's going to play for the Raiders next year.
Will you Google him? See if any news came up? We got to take a break, but we'll give, because I know everyone out there.
I went off the deep end.
No. I know everybody out there wants to know what is Jamarcus Russell up to out there, because think about it. They had to get through the Jamarcus Russell era to get to Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like, it was a process.
Yeah, I don't
You had to take your lumps. Finally got a good one in Derek Carr, but you had to pay your dues. You had to go through Jamarcus Russell first.
All right.
And that guy was a mess.
I found him, so we'll talk about it when we get back.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Bernie, how you doing? Great place.
retirement on a band that's never left your garage.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Prepare ship for light speed. No, light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow? Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed. Ludicrous speed.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Raider fans celebrating all over the Inland Empire with the addition of John Gruden as the new head football coach. You know, Jack Del Rio wasn't that bad.
No,
That's
I like
the thing.
that guy.
They had a bad year, but in his 3 seasons with the Raiders, he wasn't that bad. They had a really good team last year. It fell apart when Derek Carr broke his leg at the end of last season.
And then he broke his back this year.
Yeah. Were we talking about that yesterday? Like,
yeah.
you know, people said, why do you think he had a bad season? Well, I don't know. He had a broken back. I mean, there was that.
Yeah, it was like broken like 3 spots. But yeah, do you think I'm telling you, bring back Jamarcus Russell.
Replace Derek Carr with Jamarcus Russell.
I'm telling you, man, he's only 31 years old. He's going to make a come. His NFL comeback dream is still alive.
I'll be honest. I had not thought about him or even heard his name until you brought it up. It's been years.
He is only 31 years old. He said he would play for free. No joke. I'm reading it right now. Would play for free and be on a scout team for a year just to get the experience in a system.
What a deal.
I guess so. He was like 300 pounds.
Yeah, he was a huge quarterback.
He's like a Reed. He's like a waif model now. He's like a weeping willow. He's still thin.
Is he really?
Yeah, Jamarcus Russell, clean to NFL comeback. That's not bad. Hey, what do you think about Del Rio? Why didn't the Chicago Bears go after a big hire? Did you see who they hired?
It was the Chiefs' offensive coordinator, Nagy, wasn't it?
Nagy. I mean, he's just, no offense, but a no-name. Why, you're Chicago Bears, man.
He must be a quarterback whisperer or something because, they've got Mitch Trubisky, who's the heir to the throne, I guess, in Chicago, although he didn't do anything. But
he's
they're saying,
hot mess.
But you know what? Here, let's get his back for a second because they said they didn't really open it up. You know what I mean? They played it safe with him. They didn't really he wasn't able to show all his abilities as a quarterback. They played it safe with him. So maybe Nagy, who's a guy who worked with Alex Smith, who maybe physically.
But what does he play? He's the safest quarterback there is.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they could take a guy like Alex Smith, who's maybe not the greatest quarterback, but good enough to be a team to lead to the playoffs. Maybe that's what they're thinking in Chicago, that Trubisky's similar to Alex Smith, and maybe that they're trying to hope for similar results. I don't know.
So he's going to throw 5-yard screen passes like Alex Smith does?
That's right, yeah.
They never goes downfield?
It's going to be all about yards after the catch. Just get the ball in the receiver's hands and let the playmakers make plays.
Oh, man, yeah, it would have been nice for Del Rio to land on his feet somewhere like that. I mean,
he still might. You know what I mean? There's so much movement in the NFL. He might end up as a coordinator somewhere, but do you remember him as a linebacker? He was a stud.
I do.
He was scary.
Yep. I liked him, but hey, maybe they'll bring back Marty Schottenheimer or something.
Marty Ball.
I love that guy too. I saw something on him today, even though he does have Alzheimer's.
He does now?
Hey, bring him back. He could probably coach the Bears. Or not the Bears. He could coach the Browns. Bring back Marty Schottenheimer to coach the Browns.
Man, the Browns, they are a mess. In fact, they just had a parade to celebrate their 0-16 season. Why do you have a parade to celebrate that?
They were 1-15 last year?
Yes.
0-16 this year?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Wait, I think you were gone with UCR the day when I talked about jumping in the lake. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh, so their head coach Hugh Jackson had said
for charity. Was this for charity?
Well, he said last year when they were 1-15 at the end of the season, he said there's no way that we will finish 1-15 again. There's no way. Write it down right now. He's like, I know myself. I know the players. I know the pride we have. There's no way we will go 1-15. If we finish 1-15 again, I'll go jump in that lake over there, like Lake Erie, whatever was right there. I think it's Lake Erie.
Did he do it?
Well, he's going to, because not only did they not finish 1-15, they finished worse.
He's going to die.
They were 0-16.
It's cold.
It's really cold, but there's a big but here. He gets to pick the date, so maybe he's going to do it right before training camp in June or July, right? So it doesn't sound as bad.
He still gets to coach, though.
Yeah, the Browns are keeping him around. Yeah, absolutely.
I told you my thought is Alex Smith goes there. That's
to Cleveland.
That's my whole thought.
They need a quarterback. I don't like Deshaun Kaiser. I love Cody Kessler, but I don't think he's the long-term guy there.
They have the first and the fourth pick. What do you do with those guys? You get a good offensive line.
You want them to trade.
I do.
Yeah, get rid of the first, right?
Yeah, get an offensive line, get a quarterback in there, and get a guy who's experienced, has led a team. Hey, what about Eli Manning? What about him?
He could be on the market.
They were talking about maybe him going to Denver, but no, I could see him playing for the Browns.
Can you imagine another Manning in Denver? Wouldn't that be crazy? Think about that.
And him winning another Super Bowl. He'd have more. He already has more than his brother anyways.
Look at you. Yeah. 2-1, right?
Yeah. Little brothers are always better than big brothers.
And then speaking of the Browns, as we've just got detoured by the NFL, that's okay.
That's okay.
I love talking NFL.
All right.
The fact that the Browns tried to get Jimmy Garoppolo with a first-round pick.
That's right.
And they said no, and then they traded him away to the 49ers for, what was it, a second-round pick?
And a 6-pack of Molson Ice.
Man.
Yeah.
Jimmy G. If you're our age, you'll remember what a blue light special is, right? At Kmart.
Yeah,
that was a blue light special. Right there.
Yeah, that's a shocker. But I'll tell you what, we talked yesterday. how good is the division going to be now with Garoppolo, Goff? I mean,
we could see the NFC West. We could see these epic 49er Ram battles for a long, long time, which as a football fan from the 80s and 90s,
yes,
like when the 49ers and Rams are good and they're having these battles against each other for a division title, I think it just makes the NFL better. Those are two like more of the traditional franchises. So when they're good, everything is good. You know what I mean? Like it's just you want the Broncos to be good, the Chiefs to be good, the Steelers to be good. You know,
but just think of the coaching staffs now in that division. I mean, you have no longer Pete Carroll's not the guru of football. You got San Francisco coaching staff is phenomenal. I'm telling you, there's a changing in the guard here in that division.
Yeah, it's interesting in terms of the coaches in the NFL because look at the Raiders. They go out and they land the big fish, right? Like my guy Brandon Dunn from ABC 15 in South Carolina. Sometimes you throw the line out and you land a whopper.
Yes.
They landed a whopper. They got John Gruden. You know what? So they're not really going too far out on a limb saying John Gruden's the guy because he's done it before. Everybody loves him. He obviously knows football. He's won a Super Bowl, all those things. But then look at the flip side. Look at the Rams. They went out there and got a young guy, Sean McVay, had never been a head coach, youngest coach in the NFL. Kind of like an unknown commodity. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's worked well with some quarterbacks, but really as a head coach of an NFL team, they didn't really know what they got. And I'm sure people from the outside looking in might have been thinking, dude, why did they do that? Why didn't they go after John Gruden? Why didn't they go after Bill Cowher, one of the more established guys? You know what you get with these guys. But again, what I said yesterday, sometimes the big rewards takes a big risk. And they took a big risk, and look how it paid off.
It did. And you look at the AFC West, I mean, it's wide open. Other than I think the Chargers are always going to be pretty good as long as you have Rivers.
That's the problem. They're always pretty good. Not great. They're always just pretty good.
But you got Bosa there, who's a great defensive anchor. But the Raiders, I mean, look, they got the Chiefs, who are in transition. The Denver Broncos are in transition. So it's really just and the Raiders are in transition. The Chargers are really the team to beat in the AFC West. And then you have the Raiders now with Gruden. It's going to be pretty fun to watch.
That is a fun division. I know we live on the West Coast. We're obviously biased, but I love the AFC West and the NFC West. And when those teams are good, I think it just makes football fun.
It does.
Like when the Colts are battling the Titans for what is that, AFC South or whatever that conference is.
Yes.
I don't get excited about it. Maybe if we lived out there, I'd care more about it. But when you have like Broncos versus Raiders or 49ers versus Rams, like I just get fired up about it.
Yeah, I don't want to see Houston and Jacksonville play. Yeah,
Houston. The Oilers. I don't want to see the Oilers play.
The Oilers. Hey,
Warren Moon in the run and shoot
Earl
offense.
Campbell.
Earl Campbell.
And his thunder thighs.
Speaking of the NFL playoffs, and the Oilers did not make the playoffs this year.
They did not?
They didn't. But we do have over in the AFC, it's the Titans against the Patriots and the Jaguars against the Steelers. Those are your AFC games. Over in the NFC, Falcons versus Eagles, Saints versus Vikings. Jeff, we have all week long to break down these matchups. But at first glance, let's just go through them real quick. Let's pick some winners here. So, Titans, Patriots, is that like a foregone conclusion? Do we even have to go over this one?
I love my man, the quarterback.
Mo Brady's brother or Marcus Mariota?
Mariota, come on, man. He was part of that great Oregon teams.
Yeah,
but
he was.
I have to say the Patriots. You got to go Patriots.
And Jaguars against the Steelers.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say the Steelers are gonna lose.
What? Who are you? What? Why?
Yeah, I'm telling you because
they beat the Bills 10-3. The Bills should not have been in the playoffs.
I'm telling you, the Jaguars.
Listen,
the Jaguars.
I'm going to change your mind right now, Jeff.
You're not.
The Jaguars beat the Bills 10-3. Barely. They squeaked past Buffalo.
They are going to go on a scoring rampage.
No.
And I picked the Titans last week.
No.
That was my dark horse. So I'm picking the Jaguars to beat the Steelers because I don't think it's going to be a Steelers-Patriots matchup the following week.
You don't think so?
I do not think. I do not.
It's got to be.
It's not going to happen.
It's got to be.
Jaguars. You pick Steelers. I got Jaguars.
Jaguars barely beat the Bills. Barely. They squeaked it out, and the Bills lost by 30 to the Chargers. Do you remember that? We were talking about that. They lost by 30 to the Chargers.
I don't care. They're a team of destiny, and I like the name Jaguars over the Steelers.
In fact, after the UC Riverside basketball game, we were coming back from UC Santa Barbara, Remember I told you that? I got in the car and I said, hey, you know what? When I was packing up the hotel room, I was watching a thing on the Bills. Do you remember the Bills lost like 54-24 to the Chargers? Remember I told you that?
Yes.
Remember that. The Bills lost that bad.
I'm telling you, the Jags are going to win. And you're going to be saying I was a prognosticator and a soothsayer. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be a mind reader. What are those people? Of tarot cards. I'm going to read your palm. I'm going to tell you they're going to beat them.
You're going to be a psychic.
A psychic. That's the word I was looking for. Psychic.
All right. Well, if the Jaguars beat the Steelers, there's obviously something afoot here. Because picture this: a Jaguars-Titans AFC Championship game. That sounds awful.
That does sound pretty.
That sounds like, you know what, guys? You want to go to the movies? Like, I'm not even into this. So is Star Wars still in theaters? Let's go see it for a third time.
I'm telling you, yeah, it could be bad.
I don't want to see Titans Jaguars. Over the NFC, Falcons versus Eagles, Saints versus Vikings. The winners will move on to the NFC Championship game. We'll start with the Falcons versus the Eagles, and of course, the big thing there is the Falcons are the favorite. They've gone through this before, and Carson Wentz is out for the Eagles.
Falcons. They're going back.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't want to pick the Falcons.
They're tough.
But I don't know how not to pick the Falcons in this one.
They are tough. They were there last year. They had their shot. They're remembering it. They're gonna make the comeback.
Philadelphia was just so underwhelming coming down the home stretch of the season with Nick Foles.
You don't like Nick Foles?
Well, if he would have done something the last couple of weeks, I'd have been like, okay, you know what? They're still playing at a pretty high level with Nick Foles. But they didn't really do anything.
They didn't do anything.
And Atlanta shut down the Rams. The Rams had a good team this year.
Yeah, the Rams, Goff, Mr. Jack Skellington just came up a little short. But they didn't give the ball to Gurley. I said if they give it to him more than 20 times, they win.
He got it 14 times.
They're undefeated when he gets the ball over 20 times. That's why I should have been coaching that game.
You should have been.
I should have. I'd have given him the ball at least 20 times in the first half.
All right, so we both got Falcons?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, and Saints versus Vikings. Of all the games this weekend?
That's the one. I know you want the Vikings to win so bad.
I kind of do.
I do not.
I kind of do want the Vikings.
I like Drew Brees and his birthmark. I do. I love Drew Brees and his birthmark, so I'm going to go with Drew Brees and the Saints.
I'll go Vikings. Vikings at home. I love defense. I'm a defense kind of guy.
Why do you like defense? Seriously, you watch games for defense?
Yeah, because okay, so
you definitely like soccer.
If it's football, like if it's like a 14-10 game, I'm into it. It's field position, it's defense.
On.
Baseball, I love one-zip games where the pitcher dominates. Like,
what the hell is wrong with you?
No, man. So that's why your version of basketball, I'm just like, what's Jeff doing? Where's the defense? Where's Yancey Dodson in those 30-point games when you need him?
He's adopted part of my system, for gosh sake. Do you like watching basketball games where it's like a 30-30 grind out?
I can appreciate them.
You are one dummy.
Yeah, like
you're a dummy.
The teams that run down the shot
you,
clock.
But you are a dummy.
Run down the shot clock, get that shot up, and like.
So you're saying you feel like Lieutenant Dan?
It's just horrible. Why would you want to? Score as many points as you can. That's what I like. Guys getting like 40. Then you always feel cool. When I scored 40, I'm telling you right now, I didn't sleep for like 3 days. There's nothing better than scoring 40 on somebody. And then when you're playing them, I remember this. There was a guy named Wolfpack. Can I tell you this real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Wolfpack. We're playing at Point Loma Nazarene College. And we played against each other in high school. He was a really good basketball player. But I caught an alley-oop dunk on him right on his head. And I remember he fouled me on the dunk. And he was leaning over to me when I was at the free throw line. He goes, man, I've never been dunked on like that. And my girlfriend is here. I'm really kind of embarrassed. So the next time down the floor, I got the ball and I hit a 3 in his face. And I knew who his girlfriend was. So I said, hey, how does it feel that I'm kicking your boyfriend's ass on the court? And she laughed so hard. And then I scored on him again.
How did you say that to his girlfriend? Was she like in the front row?
Yeah, there was an NAIA basketball game. There was about 12 people in the bleachers. And she was laughing the whole time. And after the game was over, I went over and said, hey, you need to go out with me because she was really good looking. She thought it was funny, of course. But yeah, he was so... He looked at me and goes, man, why would you say that to her? And I go, because I embarrassed you. And I loved it. I dunked on it. It was we were playing at their place. And it was like, oh, man, I even looked at her and said, how does it feel? That I'm just kicking your butt right in front of your girlfriend. And he was like, that's just not right. But yeah, Woodcrest. I remember it like it was yesterday.
What's he doing today? Google him.
Woodcrest.
Can we get a Woodcraft update after the break?
Woodcraft.
I bet you if you Google his name, something will come up. Facebook, something.
Well, I don't know. He might be really depressed because I dunked on him. I mean, it was a monster dunk.
You're saying there's a potential that his life went into a tailspin.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a heavy drinker, I'm sure, after that dunk.
All right, we come back. We'll talk about UC Riverside. They're getting ready for UC Davis coming up on Thursday night as they're back in Big West Conference play. And a former Big Laker name was at the game. We never talked about this the other day on Monday. Former Big Laker name was at the game.
That's right, he was.
Yeah, we got to talk about that as well. We got pictures. We got proof. We got pictures we can post on Twitter as well about it.
You took a picture of him?
I did.
Yeah, you're weird.
It's from far away, but yeah, it was kind of weird. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Hey, woman. Hey, woman. Listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you like to...
How you guys doing? Coach Ray here from Boost Training. We're here today at the Boost Performance Center with the one and only Pep Fernandez. Today's Boost Training tip, we're going to get football specific with the 40-yard dash stance. Come check it out. Okay, so first things first, we're going to establish Andrew's footing. All right, now, he has his left foot up in his 40 stance, so what we're going to do is he's going to take his left foot, his left toe, and he's going to bring it back to his right heel. All right, now he's going to take his right toe and bring it to his left heel. All right, next he's going to take that right foot, he's going to bring it about hip width. Now, depending on if you're a skilled player, receiver, DB, or if you're a lineman, a bigger guy like Andrew is here, you may want to go a little bit wider, all right, because they usually have bigger thighs here. So he's going to go a little bit wider hip width. Now he's going to take that right toe, he's going to move it back about 4 to 6 inches. Perfect, perfect. Okay, now he's going to take his right hand, he's going to place it right behind the line. He's going to take his left hand and place it right above the line. All right, now he's going to dig his feet in, get his footing. We want to really load the hips, knees, and ankles here. And what we're looking for is a deep bend in the ankles and a nice angle with the shins here. We want to try to keep that shin nice, almost parallel to the floor. So what's going to happen, he's going to keep his nose to his knee. He's going to stay nice and low. When I say set, Andrew's going to bring that left arm higher than his hip. He's going to slightly elevate his hips higher than his knees. Now, you never want to hold your 40 stance any longer than about 3 seconds. So it's going to be very quick, all right? Here we go. Set. Go. There you have it, 40-yard dash stance.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajelco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the Crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Forgive me, Guapo. I know that I, Jefe, do not have your superior intellect and education. But could it be that once again, you are angry at something else and are looking to take it out on me?
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Hey, we're back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We're proudly brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, Boost Performance Training in Corona, and Catalano Motors, also in Corona, off Temescal Canyon Road. So I get all the Rams like press releases when they come out.
Yes.
And it's funny because we heard John Gruden announce that Greg Olson will be his new offensive coordinator. And shortly after, a release comes down from the Rams saying they have promoted Zach Taylor, who's an assistant for the Rams, to quarterbacks coach because Greg Olson was the QB coach for the Rams. Now he's going to the Raiders to be the offensive coordinator. And the plot thickens because Sean McVay got his coaching start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with John Gruden.
He did?
Yes.
Wow, he seems like he's too young to have coaching.
I know.
He seems
What,
like
McVay 31?
Yeah, it seems like last year he was in high school.
Yeah, he's a young-looking guy. But no, I guess he got his start with John Gruden when Gruden was still with Tampa Bay, which he was with Tampa Bay until, 2008? I think it was. I think 2008, the end of that season, was his final season in the NFL because he's been out in the broadcasting booth for the last decade, last 10 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was 10 years ago. So McVay was like a pup, like right out of college, like 21, maybe 22 at the oldest.
Was he like a video coordinator or something like that?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Look at that.
Yeah, so now the mentor will get to take on the pupil because the Rams and Raiders will play this upcoming season. So interesting to see how the coaching staffs are taking form. And Olson leaving the Rams to go to the Raiders, which happens to be the team of John Gruden, who gave Sean McVay his start. So it's kind of interesting how it all worked out.
Ties together.
All right, now to UC Riverside basketball again, coming off a tough loss to UC Santa Barbara over the weekend. They're 0-2 in the Big West Conference. They've got UC Davis coming up on Thursday. Jeff, this is a Davis team that went to the big dance. They put on their dancing shoes. They went to the NCAA tournament last season for the very first time, and they had to play in that wacky first four. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Do you like that?
The playing game. No, I think it's goofy.
No, it's lame. When they first said that, because in my world, the NCAA tournament is 64 teams, right? 1 through 16 in each region of the bracket, and that's it. And now they introduced, like, the first week of the NCAA tournament, there's like a couple Tuesday night games, and they call them the play-in games, like the first four.
Yeah, I think if you win your conference tournament, you should get in no matter. I think if you are maybe second and you're in a bigger conference, or third maybe, if you're even going to accept 4 teams, I think that should be a play-in because you didn't win your conference tournament, nor did you probably win your league or conference championship before the tournament. So I think Davis kind of got railroaded.
That's my beef too. They were the Big West Conference champ. You win your conference. Okay, you punch your ticket to the NCAA tournament, which is huge. I mean, that's big time.
Yes.
And at least reward them a little bit. Don't make them play a first. So they made them go play a first 4 game. So they play Tuesday, and then they have to turn around and they say, hey, congratulations, you won the play-in game. Now you're the number 16 seed, and you're going up against number 1 Kansas. Congratulations.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem fair, but.
No.
No, not at all. But they do have the best player, I think, in the conference, and I can't wait for you to see him. And I'm sure UC Riverside doesn't want to see him. That's Shima Maneki, he's averages 30 minutes a game, 19 points, and 10 rebounds. So he's a true stud.
So it could be a long night for Big Al, Alex Larson, the big man for UC Riverside. Maybe we'll see Edie Diallo, the transfer from Boston College. I mean, just to have another big body out there, right, to kind of bang around with Maneki.
Yeah, and the thing is that Maneki is such a good athlete. He'll stretch it out. Larson will have to go out and guard him on the perimeter at times, which could be tough. But there is some local flavor on UC Davis's roster.
Oh, I love the IE flavor.
Gio Nelson of Corona Centennial.
Yes, I remember Gio.
So, yeah, Gio is a
He's been in the studio,
yes,
I believe.
Yes, he has. So we got Gio Nelson from the IE out here is going to be playing, so it would be nice to see him. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fans and for the big game.
Those Centennial guys, they're all over the place.
Yes.
Again, like these last 4 or 5 years, they've been cranking out these awesome players out of Centennial High School. And a lot of them stayed on the West Coast. We just saw, Deontay North, he was with Portland State.
That's right.
Jordan Griffin's at Long Beach State. Cedric Bearfield is over at Utah. I'm sure I'm missing some names here, but they're all over the place right now. And again, Gio Nelson, another one of those guys playing Division I basketball here on the West Coast at UC Davis, and we'll get to see him here in Riverside Thursday night.
Yeah, and UC Davis is a good team. In fact, they knocked off a good UC Santa Barbara team. Was that Cal Poly?
Davis beat. Man, I don't have my notes in front of me. Of course, I lock when we got a game coming up for UC Riverside. I lock myself in my room and I turn on a spotlight and I just hunker down and I get all the stats out in front of me and I just do lots and lots of homework.
They beat Irvine. That's what it was. They beat a very good 64-53. And they've had some good games. They've played Pacific. They beat Pacific 71-67. They lost at Washington by only 7, but they lost to a common opponent, Utah Valley. That UC Riverside lost to by 8. They lost by 9 to Utah Valley. So some
similar scores, right?
Similar scores, but yeah, they beat Washington State though, which is
that's a Pac-12.
That's a Pac-12 school. So UC Davis is a pretty good ball club.
So Davis comes to town. That's Thursday night, and as close to a must-win as you can get for UC Riverside. Because again, I know it's early, but you don't want to fall behind. I mean,
no,
it's kind of like a microcosm of their games in terms of falling behind, having to battle back. You don't want to do that same thing in the conference standings. If you could pick off a couple of these teams on your home floor, that would be huge going forward. Again, you just got to finish in the top 8 to make the Big West Conference. But still, the higher you finish, the easier it's going to be.
Yeah, because you don't want to play a number 1 seed the first game of the tournament. But they are, UC Davis is 10-5. They're 5-0 at home, but 3-4 on the road.
Vulnerable on the road.
Very vulnerable on the road. But 3 wins is pretty good for a road team, or for a team to win on the road. So that's a lot of wins.
And surprisingly, last year, so when Davis made the NCAA tournament, it was Irvine who won the regular season title in the Big West Conference. And if I remember right, they blew Davis out like by 30 points. Like it wasn't even close.
They blew everyone out last year. The last 5 games, I believe, for UC Irvine, they won by an average of 27 or 28 points.
Not even close.
Yeah, and they were deserving, I think, of being in the tournament. Russell Turner had a great team last year. They had great scorers. They were kind of robbed out of the tournament, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the Big West Conference only gets that one automatic big. So you think, looking back at last year, Irvine should have had a spot. Maybe they should have been in that first 4. Davis maybe should have got a spot in the brackets and put Irvine in the first 4. I mean, they were that good.
Yeah, Irvine was built for the tournament, and I think that was their window was last year. This year they're starting all younger guys, a lot of sophomores, starting with the Anteaters.
Yeah, so ironically, Irvine was so good, and then they meet Davis for the championship in the Big West, and Davis just had a good night.
Yep.
I guess that's good coaching, right? When you see a team again and you make adjustments and find a way to beat a team that blew you out not too long ago.
Yeah, and they've got a pretty good coaching staff. Jim Les, who's been there, kind of rebuilt the last few years. So, yeah, they've got a lot of bodies, and they're big. They go 6'8" across the board. They have a 6'10" guy that can play. They got a 6'11" guy. So it'll be tough for Riverside because Riverside will bring in bigs. Davis will bring in bigs. It's going to be tough for them.
All right, going back to Saturday, UCR played at UC Santa Barbara, and who was in the stands but none other than former Lakers general manager Mitch Kupchak. His son, Max, plays for UC Santa Barbara. He played a little bit. You're over there shaking your head.
Well, last year he played the entire game because UC Santa Barbara had 3 guys that were academically ineligible.
They're a little bit better this year.
They're a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, Riverside handed it to him pretty good at Riverside last year. So, it was funny. You see Mitch Kupchak up in the bleachers. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
He's perched atop. In fact, if you're watching this live on the channel right now online, I'm going to go ahead and punch up the shot because he's kind of perched atop where he can see everything. I feel like he might not be a general manager, but he's still on the inside feels like a general manager. Like I feel like he's probably like scouting everybody and looking at their tendencies and who's good and who has weaknesses.
Well, if you watched him, did you watch him at all during the game? He kept standing up and walking, pacing back and forth.
He was nervous?
Yeah, a little nervous. I mean, he's watching his son
as a dad, right?
Yes, of course. But last year he came down, and the day after he was fired, they were playing the UC Riverside Highlanders, and my son Connor shows up and says, "Hey, it's Mitch Kupchak, Dad." I said, "Well, you're wearing a Clippers jersey." So he ran up and he asked him for an autograph. Mitch Kupchak said, "No, get away from me, kid. You're wearing a Clippers jersey." And
away from me.
And so as he's walking away, he called him back and was joking around with him, obviously, and said, "Hey, here." So he wrote back, wrote a thing. to the biggest Clipper fan ever, Connor Gorham, Mitch Kupchak. And then as we were leaving the gym, he stopped us and said, "Hey, Connor, next time I see you, I want to see you wearing a Lakers jersey." I was like, man, what a cool guy.
Remember the name.
Remember the name, and just got fired from the Lakers and still was loyal to the brand. So it was kind of cool to hear that.
Yeah, still loyal, like you said, loyal to the brand. I'd have been like, Lakers, that's an awesome Clippers shirt, man. That's the best team in Los Angeles.
But I'm sure he's still getting paid by the Lakers.
See, that's the deal.
That's key.
Yeah,
when you fire somebody in the middle of a contract, you do collect that money.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's okay.
That guaranteed money is what's nice. You're not going to go out on the streets, even if it's a little kid, and tarnish the name of the Lakers when you're still collecting those paychecks.
Yeah, and you got to figure, he was really best friends with Jerry Buss. I mean, that's a lineage with the Lakers with Mitch Kupchak, and he also played for the Lakers. So you got to like the fact that he was loyal to the brand.
You know, I'm just curious if he's still out there as a name, like when if a general manager's fired or someone in the front office on another team's fired, if they're like, hey, Mitch Kupchak's out there.
Well, I'm sure he's on people's radar. I'm sure he still goes out and is writing notes on players, because I'm sure everybody's going to call
him. Like a consultant at some level, right, for NBA teams.
I could still see him consulting for the Lakers, to be honest with you. I don't think it was anything personal. I just think they wanted new blood and brought in Pelinka to take the spot. But I don't think there's any bad blood. Maybe he's still somewhat connected with the Lakers.
Well, nobody's going to know the Big West like him, because he's going to see all the Big West Conference teams at some point throughout the season. So I know there's not a lot of Big West guys who make it to the NBA, but there could be some fringe guys like Manecki, right? Or some of those guys.
Manecki is, like I said, he's
who was the guy from Irvine last year, the big man? Inwaba, or what was his name? I think he just signed with the Chicago Bulls.
Yes, he did. Oh, I can't remember his name.
Is it Inwaba or something like that?
Yeah, he's playing. But Shima Manecki, the only problem is he's only listed at 6'6", but he plays a lot bigger.
He plays big, right?
He plays big. He's a forward/center. He'll post up. He'll stretch the floor. He's going to be a tough guard for UC Riverside to really put their hands on, because he can play the perimeter. He's from Australia, which is strange.
Hello.
He went to a community college first, and this is his second year. He's a phenomenal player.
Well, it's UC Riverside taking on UC Davis, a Thursday night Big West Conference game, and we'll see if the Highlanders can get their first win, and also the first win for head coach Justin Bell, as he's trying to really put his stamp on the program as the interim head coach, and who knows? Again, it boils down to about 3 games in March, and if you can get hot at the right time, who knows? I mean, we've seen wackier things happen.
I would like to see, Coach Bell retain the job, just because he's been a part of the fabric of UC Riverside for so long as a player. His wife's an assistant coach with the women's program. I think he plays or coaches for the school itself. He's not coaching for himself. He's coaching for the players. I like him. I think he's got a good heart. I hope he does well. But it's going to be tough to retain a job when the athletic director wants a big name.
What's funny is once in a while, when you get to the NCAA tournament, you'll see North Carolina, or Kentucky, or Duke, or one of those big number 1 seeds, Villanova, play a school, and you look at their record, and they're like, wait, there were 14 and 16?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, how did they get in? And it's because they got hot in the conference tournament. They won their conference.
Well, there's been teams that have only won 5 or 6 games that have made the conference tournament and done stuff. It would be great. You'd love to see Riverside do such a good thing, not mainly for everything that's going on, but for the players, because the players are the guys that are on the floor and playing for the school. I know there's a lot of stuff going on outside of basketball that these guys have to see and endure. So you'd like to see them do well, because they are probably going through so much. They lose their head coach. They hear so many things about who's coming in and so forth. I'm sure they hear all the rumors.
But you still got to stay focused.
Got to stay focused.
You're in conference play now. There's no turning back. You're in conference play. Again, it's going to boil down in a couple weeks, like 2 months, to the conference tournament in Anaheim. And if they could just, steadily get better, improve, pick off a couple teams in conference play, get to the tournament, and then you just got to win 3 in a row. I mean, we're going to find out how close they are to the top of this conference when they play Davis, because you could probably safely say that Davis is going to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams, right, in conference. Maybe throw Santa Barbara in there. Maybe Irvine's in there. I'm not really sure.
Well, from what we've seen, I'd have to say Santa Barbara's so far the best we've seen. Even though they've taken a loss, they've been up 20 on 2 Big West opponents. So that tells you that they have capabilities of being really good. I think Northridge is down. I don't know about Hawaii so much because I've seen them on TV a few times, but they are playing at home. Long Beach State is beatable. So I think Riverside has a shot to – I think they have a shot to beat Long Beach. I think they have a shot to beat Hawaii. I think they have a shot to get Northridge twice. And if they could split with Cal Poly, get a win at home, that would put them right in the mix of maybe a 3 or a 4 spot, which would be great for Riverside.
Yeah, right in the middle of the conference, right? Right smack dab in the middle.
But you can't lose at home, and that's key. You got to protect home court. And Riverside hasn't played. They haven't played at home. They've been on the road for 4 games, so first time in 5 games they've been at home.
So what was it? Seattle and Utah Valley, of course, that final non-conference road trip of the season.
You had Cal State Fullerton and UC Santa Barbara. So I'm sure they're licking their chops to get back to the SRC and play some home games, which they have 2 this week.
So it's Thursday night against Davis, and then again Saturday night taking on Long Beach State. Also Saturday night when we come back, we'll talk about the Inland Empire All-Star Classic. It's coming up Saturday night as well. Jeff will be at the UC Riverside basketball game. I'll be out at the Inland Empire All-Star Classic. Vinny Fazio will have the call Saturday night with myself on Riverside TV. And we're going to have Vinny on the show in a couple days to break down some of the matchups and some of the players and the teams represented here in the Inland Empire All-Star Classic. Vinny's a guy who played in this game, has very fond memories, and, of course, keeps track of local high school football and some of the top seniors in the 909 and the 951.
Are we going to see Jenny Phillips there too?
Jenny Phillips will be on the sidelines.
We missed Jenny Phillips. Reporter. I can't wait to see Jenny Phillips.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jenny Phillips in a while, so she'll be on the sidelines as well as part of the Riverside TV broadcast team. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We will talk more about the 33rd Annual Inland Empire All-Star Classic. And also, we'll go over the Mr. Football finalists. It's down to 11, and we'll announce our winner coming up on Friday as we get closer to the big All-Star Classic.
We got to talk about the Ball family, too, as well.
You want to go back to the Balls?
Yeah, I want to, because I really didn't get to
Jeff's going back to the Balls.
I didn't get to air my grievances.
You got more grievances?
I have a lot of grievances.
You look very angry.
I am angry, trust me. I am angry with Larry Ball.
Larry Ball. We'll be back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Tell me, or I'll... No, not the buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons! All right, then. Who's hiding them?
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the Inland Sports Show.
So you talk to the radio?
On Fox Sports IE 1350 for breaking news, exclusive interviews, and big-name guests in the IE.
Your shot at $1,000 now.
Money.
Text the keyword BILLS to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info. Standard data and message rates apply. That's BILLS to 200-200.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays at 9 on the all-new Fox Sports IE 1350.
Okay, I've got a confession. I have inhaled. I'm no Snoop Dogg, but I know how we can relax you until... I'm attorney Darren Kavanoki, founder of 1-800-NO-CUFFS, and now there's a good reason why that extra puff can make you paranoid. New police reports show that 1 in 4 drivers that roll into sobriety checkpoints show signs of weed impairment.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I think that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, in terms of speed, power, strength, agility.
The chance to dream again. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change, called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Doesn't it look like I am ready? I am always ready. I have been ready since first call. I am ready. Roll.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
And we are back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Going strong here on a Tuesday. Lots going on in the Inland Empire and beyond. The big one for us coming up this Saturday night. It's the 33rd annual Inland Empire All-Star Classic as the top seniors from Riverside County will battle the best of the best from San Bernardino County. Jeff, we saw the rosters, a lot of great names in this one. And again, this is the longest running high school football all-star game in the state of California. It's Saturday night at Centennial High School. I've already checked the forecast. It's going to be wonderful.
It's not going to be raining?
The rain is moving out. The great storm of 2018 that is gripping the Inland Empire is going to pass through. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be like close to 80 degrees.
80?
Perfect.
I love global warming. I've said that yesterday. I love it.
Matt Logan must have called in the great weather.
Yes.
He has that kind of power. He's got that kind of juice.
The Sith Lord called in the weather.
So Matt Logan, the head football coach at Centennial High School, will be coaching the Riverside County All-Stars. He's also got the home field advantage because it's at Centennial.
That's right.
Yeah.
They're going to have food trucks there, I bet, too, because that's what Centennial has.
They're also, the food trucks. I think the Marines are going to be out there doing the pull-up challenge.
Pull-up challenge?
Can we get you to do that?
I can't even do a pull-up. Back in the day, I could barely do any when I was younger. I was too long.
The old pull-up challenge by our good friends at the Marines recruiting station Riverside. They'll be out there as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of these guys are going to go on to have big-time college careers. Some we might even see in the NFL one day, like a guy like Kenny Clark. So
that's right.
It's a lot of fun. It's bragging rights one more time to kind of show out for the Inland Empire, and we just really love it. Jim Clover has done a great job with this game for a long, long time, well before Jeff was throwing down dunks and playing tennis at all the country clubs and having milkshakes thrown at him. But,
yes.
Jim Clover was doing this game,
and he takes a lot of pride. I mean, there's a lot of money that this association has handed out, over $175,000 scholarship funds. So yeah, he takes it very seriously. Everybody that runs it, it is the best game, like we said, in history, but the best game in the area because it's done with class. They have a nice reception and dinner on Friday night, I believe, and it's going to be really cool for these young men to experience maybe their last game of ever playing high school football. Some of these guys, like you said, will go on and play college, but for many of these guys, it'll be their last game.
Bittersweet, right?
Yeah, but I mean, how cool is it? You get to go out, you wear a jersey representing your city or your area. You get to wear your helmet, from the last time from your high school.
That's another thing, because the helmets,
they all trade stuff, don't they?
They trade the stickers.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you're like, I think that's Brett Virgil, or it might be the other guy.
Yeah,
or it could be this guy. Because in the All-Star games, there could be like 3 number 8s.
Yes.
There could be 2 number 2s. And they all mix up the stickers on their helmet, so it's like good luck trying to figure out who's who.
That'll be for you guys to decide. But no, I mean, and it's like I said, it's a good cause, and for anybody to go out, it's $10 for adults, $8 for students, and if you're 4 and under, You're absolutely free.
You're out, Johnny.
You're out, John. Johnny's
Johnny
5 now.
Gorham. He's out.
So I'm gonna have to pay. He's gonna have to pay $8.
Does he have a wallet?
Oh, he has. No, he doesn't have a wallet.
Better get him a wallet.
He doesn't
it's
even
gonna cost.
He
it's gonna
does
cost to get in.
He doesn't even have pockets. I have to say.
He doesn't have pockets.
He doesn't have pockets. He just has those. He's got little kid shorts still. There's no pockets in those. So.
Better get him some cash, man. There's no such thing as a free lunch around here,
No,
Jeff.
I make that kid mow the lawn, even though he can't push the thing. Mow it. Get out there and do some work.
Well, the 33rd Annual Inland Empire All-Star Classic is Saturday night, Centennial High School, 7 o'clock kickoff. And then on Friday, we're going to announce our Mr. Football here in the Inland Empire.
And we're going to have that young man come in next week. We can give him his trophy.
Yeah, we'll get him in studio next week. Man, this show has flown by. We're going to open up the phone lines.
We were.
We might have to do it on Friday.
Open up the lines?
Or maybe, we'll figure it out. Or maybe tweet us. You can tweet us as well at @inland_sports. You can do that as well because we want to hear from you. But there's 11 great names, and this is going to be really tough because it was a really great year for high school football in the Inland Empire. And, of course, if you've got a really good team, you've probably got some really good players behind that team who had, for some of these guys, record-breaking seasons. If you're watching us live and amplified right now on the channel, those are all the names right there. And I'm just going to run through them really fast in no particular order, but just want to give them a quick shout out because all these guys, Jeff, had fantastic seasons in their own right. These were all great players at great programs. It's like not a huge surprise to see these guys have huge years.
Heck yeah, we have a Saint for gosh sakes in the group here. A Saint.
St. Brandon Rankins?
Yes, that's my favorite guy right there, St. Brandon Rankins.
So we got Marietta Valley quarterback Hank Bachmeyer, Marietta Valley receiver Marquis Spiker, Heritage running back Sherrod White, Paloma Valley quarterback Chance Nolan, Cajon QB Jaden Daniels, Cajon receiver Darren Jones, both juniors. I got a funny story about Darren Jones. Centennial quarterback Tanner McKee, Aquinas running back Brandon Rankins, Citrus Hill quarterback Jonathan Jefferson, Kaiser running back Tyler Algier, and Norco running back Travis Dye, who, from what I understand, is already at the University of Oregon, enrolled early with the Ducks, from what I hear.
He went up early, huh?
I think he went up early, from what I hear.
Good for him.
So Dye's up there. But speaking of Darren Jones, who's one of our finalists here for Mr. Football in the Inland Empire, over 2,000 receiving yards. He led the state of California, and he's only a junior.
King Flip-Flop, as I like to call him.
Let's see where. So I always get like these alerts in my email when people go on to our YouTube channel and do certain things. So I think it was it the It must have been the CIF championship game, or maybe it was the semifinals. But our guy intern Cullen interviewed Darren Jones after the game.
Okay.
So we got a lot of interviews, a lot of highlights on the Inland Sports channel on YouTube. So if you can go check that out, everything lives on YouTube for forever. But we got lots of great videos and interviews, and one of them is with intern Cullen and Darren Jones. And some guy wrote, this just came down, so maybe he just found it. I don't know. It's got thousands of views, but it just came down today. This guy wrote, wait, he has one more year left? He wrote, I'm gone. Like, I give up, man. He's got another year? He was already, like, the leading receiver in California, and he was only a junior, and he's like 6'8", and he's still growing. So he's like, I'm gone.
Is he a basketball player, though, too?
He is.
Is he a better basketball player or a better football player?
Well, on the basketball court, he's probably going to run into some other guys who are 6'8". On the football field, being a receiver who's 6'8", that's a nightmare matchup for anybody. I mean, cornerbacks are what, like 6'1"?
Yeah, well,
maybe a 6'2" corner.
What if he ends up being 6'10", 6'9"?
It's a matchup nightmare.
Good golly.
He's going to change the game.
Well, LeBron James was an all-state receiver, I believe.
He was.
And they said that he was the best player in the state of Ohio. So
isn't that crazy?
Maybe Darren Jones is like LeBron James.
He might be.
Which would be sweet.
Real skinny. He needs to eat a little bit more food.
And he needs to stop wearing he wears a lot of flip-flops on the sidelines and Burger King hats.
The great Darren Jones. Yes, go check his interview out on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. When we come back, yeah, Jeff is still mad about Lithuania and the Ball brothers.
It's a joke.
All that
It's
stuff.
a joke, and we're going to talk about it because it just makes me mad, but it's a joke.
All right, Ball brothers in Lithuania. When we come back, and we'll also talk more San Diego State basketball as we get you set for the Aztecs and San Jose State coming up here on Fox Sports IE. You're listening to the one and only Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back.
First, you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it! Stop.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Now, Jeff, you're a Disney guy, so I know you know Thumper.
I do know Thumper.
If you don't say anything nice.
Yeah, but I'm salty.
Are you salty today?
Yeah, I'm like Godzilla versus Thumper. Or no, Godzilla versus Bambi. Remember that short cartoon where Godzilla crushes Bambi? That's me. Yeah, you've never seen that? Look up Godzilla versus Bambi. I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest things ever. But, man, I'll tell you what. This ball situation is really bugging me.
But they won.
I don't give a...
Jeff, they won today. They,
you know what?
They led their team, Vitautas, to a 90-80 win over Zalgiris, who is a what they call Division II or junior team.
It was a junior league. First of all,
won. The Balls won.
They won. Can I just say this? Anybody that... I know there's a lot of people that like them, and they're...
Do they?
And a lot of people on social media.
I don't know if we run in the same circles, but like everyone I talk to can't stand them.
Yeah,
are there people out there that like them?
Travel ball people love them, or people that don't know anything about true basketball. You know, the thing is, and I have a whole problem with travel ball. We'll get into that another time. But they call this a Lithuanian pro debut. The only thing pro is they got paid to play. But watching the game, The referees had Big Baller brand jerseys on.
It was all around the court.
It was the center court had a big sticker that said Big Baller brand.
Again, a situation to manipulate. Keep going.
But they're playing a youth team. It was like a and I'm not knocking the Lithuanians. Maybe they can shoot the ball or whatever they do over there. But they were it was a JV. It was a glorified JV boys basketball team.
I stumbled across a recap from the game, and one guy compared it to like an NBA. I still call it the D League. It's always the D League in my heart. The D League against like a high school team.
It was the ball team. Whatever they had guys with beards, and the other guys didn't have. Had guys with no hair anywhere on their bodies. They looked like little kids out there playing, and they hung with them. I will say this though: I'm still not a fan of Jell-O. Unless I'm eating it. Jell-O in the first half, I think he had, 6 points, or combined they had 13 at halftime. But I remember, though, looking at the one stat line that hurt him in high school. He had donuts for rebounds. 0 rebounds. The guy averaged...
Well, he doesn't have to rebound when he gets to the Lakers, remember? Because Julius Randle, Larry Nance, they're going to rebound, just give him the ball.
They were playing.
Remember? Right?
Oh, yeah. But if you're LeBron, don't come here. Don't play with these ding dongs. Just forget it. Jell-O had a fast break layup by himself and missed a layup.
But Jeff, he had 19 points.
I don't care if he had 59. He's playing against little kids, and the guy. If you're going to go up and make shoot a layup, he's 6. How big is he? 6'6".
Yeah.
Just dunk the ball. You dunk it. Every single time. You don't miss layups. Dunk it. Don't be lazy. And then the very next play, he shoots an air ball from about 5 feet. The other one, his hair drives me nuts. I can't watch him play.
He had 10 points and 9 assists. He was on fire.
But it was terrible basketball. It was absolutely terrible. And I'm going to say this. If this is what they're playing overseas with, it's embarrassing. I know you got 175,000 people, whatever, watching.
Yeah, it says it was streamed to over 100,000 people on Facebook, and you were one of them.
Yeah, I was, and I feel dirty. I'm going to go home and shower after this because literally they were playing a JV team, and their team itself wasn't any better than their Chino Hills teams that they played on.
Yeah, they're saying that Vytautas, I don't know if I'm saying it right, and I really don't care.
Yeah.
That team in Lithuania that they play for, all of their players are in their 20s and 30s, like a normal professional basketball team. The team they were playing, Zalgiris 2, is a junior team of 16 and 17-year-olds. It says the announcers were very quick to point out that some of the players for Zalgiris were actually younger than LaMelo Ball.
Oh, yeah, they had a couple 15-year-olds playing out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty embarrassing. If you're going to call it pros, at least play against grown men, not little kids.
Now, we all can't be accomplished broadcasters like Jeff Gorham over here.
Yeah, I'm so accomplished, but okay.
When you call a basketball game. But, again, I stumbled on a great recap over here. But they were talking about the announcers who called the game.
They were fun to listen to.
Yeah, on Facebook. And they said, listen, cut them a little slack because there's a good chance that English was not their first language.
You think?
Probably not American.
No.
But they said they seemed particularly fascinated by the antics of LaMelo Ball. And here's some of the things that they said. Here's a sampling of some of their reactions. This was after LaMelo's first shot. The announcer said, his shooting technique is quite weird, but he can score the basket.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
After LaMelo tried to dunk, but ended up laying the ball in, he almost scores a dunk.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Here's another one. After a fancy LaMelo layup, LaMelo Ball adding some spice to his layup. It's not fun to make it simple.
Oh.
You could use that one against Davis on Thursday night if you want for UC Riverside.
Yeah, I'm just going to call it as it is.
After a wild Steph Curry-like three-point attempt, the announcer said, the shot selection, it's really not good.
Oh.
And finally, after an ill-advised three-point miss, oh my gosh, Melo, you don't want to do that. So if any of those, Jeff, strike a chord with you, feel free to use those on Thursday night when UC Riverside takes on UC Davis.
I'm going to throw up. I got to go throw up. This is driving me nuts. This is just, it's an embarrassment. Like I said, if you are LeBron James, don't come out and play out here. Don't play with, you don't want to play in a circus atmosphere. Just, I'm almost to the point now where if Lonzo Ball isn't great, just get rid of him. Let him be Jeff Teague. Go play somewhere else.
They also point out that, this might have been the announcer's first time, and Also, maybe the first time they've ever done like a live Facebook basketball game because they didn't know the difference between quarters and halves, and there was confusion because
But they were the whole game. No one knew what was going on. It was run by the Big Baller brand, and it was sickening to see a referees wearing the Big Baller brand. Really, you're gonna foul out these kids? No, and the gym was filled. The front row. I mean, it was
the last line in this story was. It was very confusing. Period. That's how the guy ended.
It was like a Fellini movie. It was just weird. I was sitting and watching something on Facebook. There's little things going across the screen, and people were just saying how wonderful these kids are. And I wanted to go. I don't see it. I'm sorry.
Well, again, the plan is, Jeff, according to LeVar Ball, that after this season. It's Lonzo Ball with the Lakers, and LeBron James is going to join Lonzo. So LeBron will be Lonzo's sidekick, right? His sidekick.
Yeah.
And then they're going to bring Jello over from Lithuania, and they're going to score all the points, so they'll all go for like 30 or 40 a game. And then you've got two guys to rebound the ball and pass it to them so they can shoot again. It's going to be Julius Randle and Larry Nance. So, in fact, you don't even need a bench.
Who are these guys?
You don't even need a bench. You got your 5 guys right there.
Who's Jello going to guard? Jello can't even guard his own shadow. He can't even guard his own shadow.
Nobody.
He's bad. He's just not a good player. He might be able to shoot. And hey, trust me, I'm old, but I can go out there and shoot the ball still. But I'm not playing in the NBA. And Jello, I just have a hard time saying that. Jello and
because you were saying that if LiAngelo Ball, the middle ball,
yes,
that sounds weird. If he was
that sounds like a personal problem. The middle ball.
He's the middle ball. If the middle ball was here,
mutant,
played back here in the States, still in college, right?
Yes.
Which all that stuff's erased. Now that they're playing for money, we knew this already, but it's gone. Like there's no chance of them turning around saying, you know what, he's going to go back to school. It's over.
He would sit on the bench in the Big West.
It's over. Yeah, that's what you said, right? He would be a Big West Conference player, which is Division I, but he would be coming off the bench. If he played for UC Riverside, would he play?
He'd have to, or else LeVar would go nuts. So I mean,
because when he first got in trouble at UCLA,
I don't think
we were speculating
he couldn't play. He couldn't play at UCR because he can't guard anybody. And Riverside really,
Justin Bell wants to guard up. He wants to D up.
Yeah, he couldn't guard anybody. They played zone maybe and just stood there. Maybe, but
because we joked when he got in trouble at UCLA, we said, "Hey, coming to a Big West Conference school near you, it's going to be LiAngelo Ball."
We did say that, and I will say this: you know how many he averaged over 30 points a game in high school? He averaged 1 rebound. How's that possible? I could go out in my sleep and maybe get a rebound. Ball hit me in the head. It's going to be a team rebound. I'm going to get a board. Yeah, I'm just not sold. I think the younger son is very talented, but when you play travel ball and you play, you don't care if you win or lose because if you're playing travel ball, hey, I lose. I have 6 more games to play on Saturday, so it's no big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a difference now.
And again, they're playing travel ball because they want to be seen by scouts, right?
Yes.
It's about them. It's not about the team.
No,
it's about them.
And like you said, they're not going to care if they win or lose because they play 7 games a day or whatever when you're playing travel ball. So I think you lose a lot when you're playing only travel ball and not playing with your team. Right.
And LaMelo, what is he, 16?
15 or 16. Yeah, 16.
I mean, yeah,
16.
Okay, so he's obviously bypassed high school and college. I mean, he's still years away from, again, I don't know if he's even good enough to play in the NBA one day.
Not big enough.
I don't, but he's still years away.
And he's going to be
where is he going to be the next couple of years? Is he going to be hanging out in Lithuania for 3-4 years?
He's going to end up doing something like that unless his dad wants to start that league. But I'll just be honest with you, it's getting old, it's getting stale, and I kind of thought he was funny in the beginning, and he's stale to me now. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to see him smiling. He might be a nice guy, and I'm just but I just don't want to see Larry anymore.
And you know what? And to be quite honest, we don't cover Chino Hills basketball.
No, it's out of our.
But when all the balls were there at Chino Hills and they were doing their high flying thing and going to state and all that stuff, we never heard from him, did we? I don't remember hearing things like, "Oh man, the Ball's dad, he's crazy." He's running his mouth. He's the loudest guy at the games. He's nuts. Wait till you get a load of him. I don't remember. Again, we don't cover Chino Hills very closely, but I don't remember hearing anything like that.
I did after Lonzo left. Then it started becoming, hey, I'm coaching this team. I run this team. He was going in on the locker room when the second head coach came in, and he was going to the locker room at halftime telling the guys what to do. And if I'm a high school coach, I'm saying, get out.
Yeah.
Larry, get the hell out of my locker room. And that's just the way it is.
Larry Ball.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. He's just a ding-dong. Larry Ball.
Have you ever had that as a coach in basketball, a parent that you just can't deal with? And how did you diffuse the situation if you had a parent that
I've had many parents that have hated me. But I had rules. I told my parents before the season started, when I'm coaching basketball, you leave me alone. You have 24 hours to not say a word to me. I don't care if it's during a game, after the day. As soon as the game is over, if you talk to me, I'm kicking your kid off my team. You wait 24 hours. Win or lose, you leave me alone. That's my time. You come talk to me after. But I used to have closed practices, and parents would show up to my practice, and I would tell players, I'd say, if your dad shows up or your mom shows up at practice, there's going to be some issues. So a couple times I would have a dad come in and watch practice, and I would say, little Johnny. Little Johnny's dad is here in practice. I would say, send little Johnny to stand next to dad. And I'd say, go stand next to your dad. So practice would go on. About 5-10 minutes later, the dad of little Johnny would come over to me and he'd say, hey, coach, how come Johnny's not in practice? I said, well, for one, I have closed practices. And two, I don't go to your job and look over your shoulder when you're writing your reports and tell you how to do your job.
You're writing your reports.
Yeah, so I would say nicely, I have closed practices, so I need you to leave. And little Johnny can practice again. And it would happen a couple times a year.
And again, you probably told them again up front before the season began.
What I would do, and I've learned from Tony Macy and my brother, my dad, they've all done this, is, I would write a contract. I would give it to the parents. The parents would sign it. The player would sign it. I had my rules that the players would keep in their pocket. I laminated these rules, and if they broke any of these rules, I could have kicked them off the team. So if you brought a parent to practice, then
so you know the rules. So if you break it, you're deciding to not follow the rules.
Yes, and if I had a parent come down after a game and say, little Johnny didn't get, you didn't play little Johnny, I'd say, what's my rule? You got 24 hours. You can talk to me all you want. If you really want to go that route, little Johnny can go transfer. And I just didn't care because my ethics and the way I coached and the way I ran my program, I wanted to make sure it was done correctly. Simple as that. That's probably why I'm not coaching anymore.
It's the parents.
Yes, parents.
It's always the parents.
I'm going to be honest with you. Parents kind of pushed me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
When someone posts something cryptic on Twitter or Instagram or something on social media, and then they're like, oh, you probably think it's about you. So when I say this, it's not about any particular school or coach. But when we hear a coach was fired or resigns, we always, people will say, well, why did he step down? He had such a good thing or a good team or he was in good place. 99% of the time, it's the parents.
Yeah, and there's certain schools, and we know this. I'm not going to name them, but there's certain schools in this area that is poison if you're going to be a coach. And that sometimes a job will open up and you go, why is that not being filled?
Yeah, like that job's been open for a long time, or they can't keep a guy there.
And there's a reason. When you have parents that infiltrate your program and ruin and dictate what you're doing as a coach, you don't want to do it. So there are some schools out there that we all know of and people that are listening, but it's just not worth it if you're going to be a coach.
No way.
Nope.
I say that all the time. Could not be a coach.
No, and that's why I
could not deal with it.
And that's why I'm not doing it anymore. I do travel ball, and I have friends that are coach travel ball, but travel ball guys, there are some slimy ones that would come in and they've taken players from me, and it's pointless because I care more about the player than they do about their own player, and it makes it tough because they're, hey, your son, or you could play at Duke, but really you couldn't play at RCC. I'm going to do the best. I'm going to do the best I can to help you.
They sweet talk them,
They
right?
do,
Yeah,
and it's because hey, anytime you're paying somebody to coach your kid, they're going to say anything they want.
Yeah.
If they want honesty, they better go to their high school coach. And most of the time, the high school coach are honest.
Give it to them straight, right?
Yeah, and that's why I still have friends. I think Yancey does a great job, and anybody in the area that is coaching, I commend them because they do a good job.
When we come back, we're going to talk San Diego State basketball because the Aztecs are coming up here on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM against San Jose State. So big game for the Aztecs tonight. There's also another huge basketball game, Jeff.
There is.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Is it on your rundown?
I don't know. My computer just died.
Ah! I'm going to keep you in suspense for the next 3 minutes or so. We'll be right back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show as we're going to wrap this thing up on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
You ready to go back out there?
Yeah.
All right. You sure? Can you do this? Rolling with the homie.
every Sunday. There she is. Lotion. Oily. Oily. I can't take this no more.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Jeff's got like one foot out the door. You got your little suitcase, like you've closed everything up. Like you're ready to go.
My computer died. It was at 90% when we started the show. I don't know what happened.
It's been a battle today, man.
Oh, it's battle tested. You know, and then I got my 3 midgets at home that need me and my Carla Smedberg.
What's for dinner?
I don't know. She won't answer the phone. I want to know what I'm going to eat. I don't want to stop for fast food. If I go for fast food, I'm going to be really upset. If I get a salad, I'm probably going to get Campbell's soup, and it'll be like it'll be Star Wars chicken noodle soup. It'll just be, oh, man, come on, honey. Come on, text me and let me know.
Step your game up.
Step your game up. She made great chicken last night, though. It was fantabulous.
Leftovers?
No, it was just,
No, but leftovers tonight. Was there enough?
No, I ate it all. I'm fat.
Big one tonight coming up a little bit later here on Fox Sports IE. San Diego State taking on San Jose State. Jeff, I'll let you take the floor. Big matchup. Actually, San Jose State's not very good at basketball.
You know,
let's call a spade a spade.
You know, I think with the emergence of Matt Mitchell, a local product out of Roosevelt, yet another McDaniels who's come out of just in the last 5-6 games has shown he's a true freshman. He's a 6'8", 6'9" slasher, a lot like a Johnny Kennedy. They have three freshmen, I think, averaging over 21 points a game total.
Man, they're going to be good for a while.
They're going to be
Aztec
very good.
Gold.
And the knock on San Diego the last few years is they could play great defense, but they couldn't score.
Now they got scores.
They have scores. They have perimeter defense.
Matt Mitchell, yo.
And I'm telling you, they have a shot. And like I said from the beginning, everybody's counted them out. Fresno State didn't mention them when they were here. Nevada, our boy John Ramey, I don't think.
But here's the deal: you're playing San Jose State. Those are the games you have to win because you want to keep pace.
Yeah,
you're supposed to win those.
Now let's go back to the 2000. Let's start at 2008, 2009. Was the Aztecs have a highest winning percentage on the West Coast of any team on the West Coast? 89%.
All the schools. Pac-12, all the schools.
All the schools on the West Coast.
Gonzaga, all the schools.
Since 2008, 2009, they have the best winning percentage, and you really can't bet against them because you didn't lose much. You lost your head coach, but he's been with that head coach for 28 years. So you have Coach Brian Dutcher, who has really just been an extension of Steve Fisher.
Keep it going. Aztecs taking on San Jose tonight. It's all brought to you by our good friends at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by excellent customer service and very low, affordable, great prices. Check them out off Alessandro Boulevard. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire. Still bringing their A game, taking care of all your sporting gear needs, plus Letterman's jackets, and they do embroidery. They do it all. Check out kensportinggoods.com. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. You know he's the best. Athletes of all levels. Check out Boost Performance Training in Corona. And Ray Bass's team, all the coaches, they've got experience, they've got passion, they're committed to grooming great athletes. Check out boosttrainingsystems.com. And, of course, Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. You can buy, trade, finance that new-to-you car or truck. If you have high expectations when buying a car, let Catalano Motors meet and exceed those expectations. They're committed to excellence, just like the Raiders. It's Catalano Motors.
Raiders.
CatalanoCars.com is the website. They're off Temescal Canyon Road. Real quick, Jeff, we've only got less than a minute left. The big one tonight, the granddaddy of them all, Kings versus Lakers.
Oh, that's tonight?
That's tonight, man.
Oh! Yeah. I'm picking Lakers.
Saving the best for last.
Lakers, baby.
You know we're going to talk about this tomorrow. If the Kings win, I'm wearing my Kings shirt. Can't stop it.
I love Lonzo Ball.
Lonzo Ball better not go off.
I love Lonzo Ball.
I'm so mad.
The rest of the balls I dislike, but Lonzo, I love you.
We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock right here. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.